We're 3 days away from the start of the NFL draft. Texans picking at 2 and 12, Cowboys at 26. Hear that draft here on the Sports Star.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're on the go at ESPNSA.com. Mike Jimenez with you till 3 o'clock. Tim Spence has taken the day off. I'm here with James Pledger. What's going on, Pledge?
What's happening, champion?
Captain, my captain, baby. What were we called again? Pleasure with Pledger?
That's the one.
Victorious. To quote Panic at the Disco, tonight we are victorious. Love it. Love it. We won the grudge match here at San Antonio Sports Star. So Team Pledger was Pledge, me, Rudy J, Jason Minix. We defeated, it was Joe's Jocks, right? That was Ryan
Jocks
Eagle.
and Joe's
Jocks
or
and
Joe's Jocks.
Yeah, Ryan Eagle, Spence, some dude in sales, Rob Thompson. I say some dude in sales. That guy lines up for the first tee with a cigarette sticking out of his mouth.
That wasn't Ernie got replaced by Jimmy, producer
right.
over at KTSA.
Yeah, so Rudy J is like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Hovering over the ball with a cigarette sticking out of his mouth.
At that point, it's called a heater.
Yes. And you would think to yourself, he's going to knock it 250, 275, 300, right? He had a grounder to third base on that one. We're like, yeah, put that cigarette away, man. Don't do that. You've lost all those privileges. Yeah, but we were, +2, 2 over for the entire day as a scramble. I believe Joe's team was +4. We were even in the back 9. It's funny because Jason Minix comes in completely hungover.
Oh, he was fine.
You guys had a party bus the night before. I wasn't able to go because I was at a wedding. And you guys were on a party bus going from dive bar to dive bar to dive bar.
It was a lot of fun.
Minix shows up hungover, but brought his A game. I have never seen Jason Minix play golf so well in my entire life. He was driving well. He was pitching well. I mean, the guy brought it.
He had it going on. So did you, by the way.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot with the irons and the driver. You got a couple in, but my God, did your flat six save Pledger with pleasure?
Oh,
pleasure with pleasure.
Dude, the putter was out, baby. The putter was out. So when we got there to Golf Club of Texas, notice how you guys all got on the tee box, right? You guys were not tee box. You were on the driving range, you know, pulling out the 3-wood, pulling out the driver. Let me see if I can knock it 300 yards. What did I do, Pledge? Tell the people where I was practicing the entire time.
I rolled up. I hadn't seen you. I didn't even know you were there. I thought I saw your truck, but your truck is a little common, so it may have been somebody else's when I pulled in. But I get here after doing the hangover with Jack Thompson and nowhere to be found. I go hit like 2 or 3 balls. I'm like, all right, let's get out on the course. And I'm waiting to find out where you are. So is Joe, because Joe, me, and Jason all kind of arrived right about the same time.
Yeah.
And still haven't seen Michaels. Haven't seen Rudy at that point either, really. Mike's down there on the chipping green getting some short game work in. I roll up. I'm like, we're still waiting on somebody. They're like, nah, Mike's right there.
What's that saying about you drive for show?
But you putt for dough, baby.
Putt for dough. So you all make fun of me when it comes to that, because when it came to my putting, I probably knocked down, 4 putts that were about, I'm not going to say that they were all 30, 40, 50 feet, but I knocked down about 4 putts in the range of about 8 to 12. And I was going around saying, I'm deadly from 10 in. I'm deadly from 10 in. And there were 3 putts, by the way, that I lipped out, which we actually had to tap in for par.
We had so many lip outs on our team, though.
Yeah, but 3 of them lipped out. 4 or 5 of them just went straight in. I brought something to the table. It's not sexy. It really isn't. What is sexy is seeing Pledger and Jason Minix go out there, knock it 325, knock it 300. It's not sexy for me to go up there and tap it in from 12 feet. But Minix, my own teammate, our own teammate, Pledger, made fun of me about this and posted on Instagram a video of me measuring a putt, saying I took too damn long.
Oh no,
I can't lay it.
You definitely have a little can't lay in your game on the putting green. You got this very long, exaggerated routine. You line up behind it, then you kind of put the putter, but you're still behind it, and you face the putter towards where your line is. Then you kind of swing yourself around. I mean,
then I look up, look back at the ball.
It
Look up,
is
little back.
a whole deal.
Now, only one time did I ever back off of a putt and do it twice. Okay. There was one time when I heard something in the background that took my focus off. And I was like, I'm going to redo this again. And I actually made that putt, by the way, the one that I did a double take on. But man, it was so much fun. Apparently the timing came out for when it was my turn to putt, for me to measure it, line it up, and tap the ball was 34 seconds. And apparently that was far too long of a time.
It took a hot minute. I'm not gonna lie, but you were draining them this day, so I kept my mouth shut.
I mean, I'm not gonna call myself the Steph Curry of putters that day.
I won't either.
Okay. I mean, Rudy J knocked it in from like 80 feet or 60, 70 feet a few weeks ago when we were out there. No, but I'm just glad that they went in because I brought something to the table.
Speaking of Rudy J, on that 14th or 15th hole, the one over the water, 320 off the tee up on that top shelf over the bunker.
Yeah.
And we were about 80 yards in, and Rudy snuggles it up to about 2.5 feet.
Oh my God, the lawn dart. And that was funny because Rudy had been playing pretty poorly most of the day. And he's a pretty good golfer, but it just wasn't his day. That just was it. It wasn't his day. He goes out there, throws a lawn dart within 2 feet, and he was like, I'll tap it in, fellas.
And he did.
I got this. I was like, okay, I'll put my putter away. But no, it was a lot of fun there over at Golf Club of Texas.
The very next hole, he puts it on the green on the par 3 too.
He did.
Now we 3-putted that hole.
And Tim Spence is not here today, but I knighted him my guy yesterday.
Oh,
you didn't see that. Afterwards, we went to the bar and grill.
Yeah, we're in the
Texas. I knighted him. I put one hand on one side of him, one side on the other side. I said, "You're my guy now. You're my guy. You weren't before, but you are now." Okay, now we have memories. We have memories of Phoenix for Radio Row. We have memories of going golfing, the tournament, and them being a gracious loser.
And it was a fun day.
It was.
It was a lot of fun out on the course that day.
And then
it was a long time on the course that day. Everybody left after we were on the course for like 5 hours. We're in the 10-cup bar for like another 2.
And the best part, though, is that not the best part, but the funny part is walking off and going back to our respective vehicles and then seeing that Rob Thompson left something behind. We'd leave like his keys. He left his keys behind, and I'm there
left his phone.
Yeah. And then I'm making fun of it because I always say that Rob Thompson and I share the same brain sometimes.
And you double dipped on the leaving something behind.
Yes, because I left both my wallet and my credit card over there. But
dude had to come running out twice.
Hey, he got tipped well.
He did. He
got tipped really well by us. So him running out there to into the parking lot, I'm not going to feel bad for. Not going to feel bad for at all. But this is going to be a fantastic show. We have a giveaway today, a family 4-pack of tickets to go see the San Antonio Missions. Tomorrow night, it is $2 Tuesday. Take it on Northwest Arkansas. Those Missions 7-7 on the season, back at 500. We're going to give away those tickets in the 1 o'clock hour. Also, in this hour, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans because the draft is just over 72 hours away. What are the Cowboys going to do at this point? Are they going to make a move at all? 12:30. Should the Cowboys even care about what the Eagles are doing? There were rumors this weekend that the Eagles were going to get Derrick Henry. They're sitting there with 2 first-round draft picks. Do the Cowboys just play their game when it comes to the draft? Or do they look around and go, what are the Eagles up to? 12:45. The fight of the year so far. Tank destroyed King Ryan. Man, Rudy J believes Ryan Garcia is a fraud.
That was a great fight. I thought Ryan was in control early in that fight.
You know, I didn't realize how big of a height disparity that there was going to be in that fight. I was
Yeah,
like,
the reach with
whoa.
Ryan is.
I was like, whoa, that's like 4 inches in height and 4 inches in reach. And you could see it. But Garcia is just a fighter that has dodged a lot of good fighters over the years. And I believe this was the first time that he actually stepped up and fought somebody that was better than him. Now, did he have a chance? Was he a fraud? Or is it just simply the fact that Tank Davis is that good? And he's the new face of boxing? Because I really enjoyed that fight. That was one of the better fights out there. It was a sweet science, but the ending, they called it anticlimactic. I don't agree with that. The ending was perfectly fine.
It was great. It was fantastic theater. I mean, I'm watching it at the Root Pub and the Angry Elephant. I think I was on same place I was for my birthday, in that corner table out on the Angry.
Yeah.
They had it on the screen. Jack Thompson, my other guy, he came out. We were watching the fight together, and we were dialed in for the entire fight. It was a great fight, and I thought the ending was superb.
Ended with a knee. We'll be talking about that again at 12:45. But up next, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, picking at number 26 Thursday night. We're going to have the latest with all the rumors involving America's team and the Houston Texans. Again, the NFL draft Thursday night. You can hear it right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to talk about on the other side.
It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, we're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft, and it's all here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The NBA playoffs continue. Can Golden State take one on the road? The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Force, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He goes, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
O'Reilly. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and see the road better with help from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, save $10 on a pair of Trico Force wiper blades. Old Rewards members get 4 times points and receive a $5 reward with purchase. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Your home for the Aggies is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I think Jerry would run that card up to Kansas City from Dallas to make sure that they had Bijan. He's going to be one of the highest rated players on their board, and you can debate the merits of first-round running back and all that. And look what happened when they took Ezekiel Elliott, number 4 overall. To the Cowboys' mind, there's a big difference between taking a running back at 4 and a running back at 26. So if this scenario were to happen to the Cowboys, you never call anything a virtual lock with the Cowboys because Jerry's Jerry. But I would say this is a virtual lock that Bijan Robinson will be a Cowboy.
ESPN's Todd Archer saying he would be a guarantee, a certainty that the Dallas Cowboys would draft Bijan Robinson if he fell to them at 26. But that's the thing. Bijan would have to fall to 26. Chances are Bijan's going to be taken a lot earlier than that. And if the Cowboys truly want Bijan Robinson, they more than likely will have to move up, trade up in the draft. Now, speaking of the Cowboys, there's going to be a press conference pretty soon with Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones holding a pre-draft press conference. We're going to take it live in a moment when they come out to the podium. But right now, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys because as ESPN's Todd Archer was mentioning, the Cowboys would be very happy with Bijan if he fell to him at 26. But the thing is that Thursday night, we're expecting Bijan Robinson to go somewhere between 8 and 21. There are a lot of teams that reportedly have interest in Bijan. Number 8, you have the Atlanta Falcons. At number 10, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles. Beyond that, in the 18 range rather, you've got the Detroit Lions. And then you have the LA Chargers at 21. Those are 4 teams right there that would kick the tires and would actually highly consider getting a running back in the first round. The thing about it is that when it comes to this whole situation involving Bijan Robinson, some fans get really amped up and excited about it. I get excited for you guys when it comes to it because I think it's worth it to move up for a Bijan Robinson if he's still around 15 or so. Get rid of a second-round draft pick, swap first, make it so. Make it happen. The problem is that the Cowboys have gotten burned by doing this in the past. Let's hear from Todd Archer when he talks about the potential that the Cowboys have in going after Bijan and why they might be skittish in doing so.
Yeah, I'll give the cop-out answer with Jerry and say you never say never, right? But I do think how they've operated here lately in their draft room, it's been let it come to them and take a blinking light, they call him, a guy that's much higher on their board that they didn't expect that would be there when they selected him. I'm thinking of CeeDee Lamb from 2020. They're picking 17. They had CD inside their top 10 on their draft board. No one was really talking about receiver that year, but that just made too much sense. I don't know if you'd see the Cowboys make a big move up like they did in 2012 when they got Mo Claiborne in a trade from the Rams and gave a bunch to go get him, and that didn't really work out very well. Maybe a spot or 2 they would jump, but this is a team that wants to build through the draft, doesn't really do a bunch in free agency. If you're giving up these draft picks, when you have guys coming up on big deals like Dak Prescott, like CeeDee Lamb, like Micah Parsons, like Trayvon Diggs, you have to have those lower-end draft picks to supplement the bottom and the end of the roster. So I'd be surprised if they were to make a big move up to go get a guy in the first round. A couple spots where you're giving up a 4th-round pick, yeah, maybe that's something they would consider, but I think they'd be content to take whichever way falls to them. They'd be happy to get with how they've set up themselves through free agency and the trade that they made for Gilmore and Cook.
Todd Archer covers the Dallas Cowboys for ESPN. Sounds a lot like Tim Spence there because he believes that the Cowboys, if they're going to move up, should only give up a 4th-round draft pick or a 3rd-round draft pick to make that happen. But that would only get you a few spots. The press conference is about to begin right now in Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, owner Jerry Jones doing a pre-draft press conference. We're your home for the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's take a listen.
And please, I know you will be, ask any questions that maybe we'll find some we can give you a good answer to.
Again, this is live in Dallas.
Yeah, it's for everybody. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Jerry and Steven, I know most years you say usually you have about late, high teens to low 20s and first round grades. Is that kind of track this year? And just in general, what you feel about being at number 26 in this draft and what opportunities that presents you? Watch out.
Quickly, I do catch myself thinking about trade. And we've done some of that when you're trying to get a higher value or get more points. The best drafts we've ever had since I've been with the Dallas Cowboys in draft points, we had over 8,000 points per draft for 3 years. Clarence, you wrote an article on my drafting around here, and which is fine. But the point is, the article was fine. But you failed to mention that in the early years, we had about 4 times the capital to draft with in those first 2 or 3 years because we had all of Minnesota's, and we had also the first pick 2 years in a row with Landry's pick and our pick. So we had a lot of capital at that time, and we did some good. I traded a 2 for Lonzo Highsmith, and he never touched the field. We did some bad. So the point is, it doesn't just happen on draft day with that. But relative to our capital, when you catch yourself at the bottom of that draft, it's only natural to think about, boy, might there be something there? The problem is, if that phone's not ringing, that's me calling. It's an old country song. And so the point is that somebody's usually got to call you to make that happen. So you don't know here today on Monday.
Stephen, do you have about the same number of first round picks that you normally have?
Yeah, that's still to be determined. I mean, we're still tweaking, and we're gonna have some things that we're still working on as we move forward. But I think in general it's going to be fairly close. What was the number you used, David?
Usually you say it's around like 17 to 21.
Right? 15 to 17, 18 range. That should end up being pretty close.
Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy addressing the media today for a press conference. It's live right now in Dallas as they talk about the draft, which is Thursday.
To you in your models, or obviously you can move up, move down. Would you consider moving up in this draft if the right player was falling to you?
Well, I'll start that off, but with this, the problem is the players I'm looking at, if they get to us, we've got a few warts on them. And so how do you get to you? And so you've got to think in anticipating what you're going to do. Then you've got to also assess, can you live with the kinds of things that you may have to live with because he became such a value. And therein lies your second round stuff we do. Yeah, can you live with that?
Yeah, I just feel like we're picking at 26. It's just so difficult to know right now. I mean, you got to kind of let the draft play. We all know that takes hours. You got plenty of time to be talking about it as guys are coming off and guys are starting to fall that you might like. I mean, not unlike what happened with CD Lamb a couple of years ago. I mean, you really don't know till it happens. You can read all the mock drafts. You can see all the things that maybe were officially polled quietly by other general managers, but you'll never know till you're there. And then, that's where being nimble and being able to make quick decisions, Jerry make a quick decision. If we say, hey, here's an opportunity, and oh, by the way, it's a guy we had quite a bit higher than where he's fallen to now, it might be worth considering giving up something.
Well, I made one on Manziel a few years ago, and that didn't go so well. That right there. So there's one a decision.
Exactly.
But
he said, am I going to have to pick up the phone and start calling, or are you going to do it?
But the point is that I think they got a roto system almost at this time of the week, and maybe the next 3 or 4 days, we may be interested in going down or maybe up. Or we might sit there, but keep us on your mind.
By the way, most teams calling right now, they wouldn't offer anything concrete anyway.
No.
Hey, if our guy's not there, would you be interested? I mean, everybody's getting those calls. If our guy's not there, would you be interested in moving up? Would you move up if your guy's there? We want to move down regardless. But it all depends on how the draft falls. So very few trades are done at the back end. Obviously, some are getting done at the front end because they know what they're going to get themselves in a position for. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, but I just think it'll be if you will, a game day decision, in terms of how that thing falls.
One of the reasons that I like our system, and I know it's criticized, but I like our system, is because those iffy picks, those that didn't work out so well, those are Stevens and Clay's. And the point is, you really don't know who picked. And so you don't have to cover your butt as far as your job. And so I know that's criticized by structure, but it also has its advantages too. And I've seen it win for us and get something big, and I've seen it kick us.
You're listening live to the Dallas Cowboys pre-draft press conference. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, head coach Mike McCarthy taking questions.
Be prepared for something like that because you don't know what might happen. You got new players because something happened that you didn't expect.
I would say have your board in order. I mean, that's how you get prepared. I mean, as long as you feel confident about your board, what other people do, I mean, it affects you. It takes options away. But as long as you feel very comfortable as those guys fall off, your best guys are the guys that you have remaining on your board, then you feel very much at peace that you'll be just fine. But we'll obviously role play those scenarios and, you do the mock drafts and, there's value to that. But, at the end of the day, if you got your board in an order that you feel really comfortable about in proper order, then end of the day, I think you feel pretty good about what the outcome is going to be on draft day.
The real world is that when we get there at 26, you'll see that everybody had them fixed about like you had them fixed. No secrets.
You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys press conference, pre-draft press conference. Mike McCarthy has yet to say a word. It's all Stephen and Jerry right now.
Real, and how many times have they been perceived by other people? For instance, fell way down. You mentioned it.
I would further that question. How many times did those warts impact him as a contributing football player? Because those warts are still there. We've accurately assessed the warts. Perception is not really something I lay awake about. I think we've got them, and I think the world does, relative to those issues. Now, how do you project that into coaches' makeup of a team and all of those? That's where we've had our miscues. And sometimes the same tendency, the same thing you're looking at will not be anything negative. And sometimes it can even be a frailty that's a positive. And so now we're getting into Sigmund Freud stuff here. But the point is that you really have got to watch for a football player as you evaluate some of the things that have happened to him. We almost missed a hell of a player around here because his girlfriend got killed while he was sitting in the draft room almost. And so we all knew the information. And so how do you adjust that? That's what we're dealing with here. And that's an extreme.
James Slater, NFL Network. This one's for you, Coach. Given that you're taking over the play calling this year, has your approach to the draft or your input changed at all from years in the past?
Well, first thing, I really like the way this press conference was going until and I think clearly as the play caller, I see us taking nothing but offensive players too. But no, I think just going back really what Stephen and Jerry both have already spoken on. I just think the draft board is so much like your call sheet in the Super Bowl. I mean, there's so much work that goes in to putting together this draft board. You have to trust you got to trust your board. And I think that's the times that I've been in rooms when you don't trust it, the room for error increases. So, and being down there at 26, I'm an optimist. I have great confidence there'll be a hell of a football player there when we pick each and every round.
Well, you were listening live to the Dallas Cowboys pre-draft press conference going on in Dallas right now. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, head coach Mike McCarthy talking to the media about the draft, which begins Thursday night. You can hear the draft here on San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, let's talk more about the draft. Philadelphia Eagles have 2 first-rounders. That is the main competition for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Eagles have pick number 10 and number 30. Should the Cowboys draft around the Eagles? Keep them in mind because that's the main challenge for the NFC East. Let's talk about Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NFL draft is just a few short days away as the first round is Thursday, and one of the biggest questions is what's happening at number 2 overall for the Houston Texans. Well, the most recent betting odds have Will Levis as the favorite to go at -145 via BetMGM. Remember, you can catch the draft here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The Knicks, Celtics, and Nuggets have all taken a 3-1 series lead after last night.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Keep counting at those stop signs, Alex. Full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney. Because you are a safe driver. And like most drivers who sign up for Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate for how and how much you drive, you could earn a discount for your good driving. So don't turn into an Alex rolling stop and goes whenever she wants, McSweeney. Because once an Alex full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney, always an Alex full stop. Well, you know the rest. Sign up for Snapshot today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
The all-new Nissan Ariya is a fully loaded EV. It's brimming with style and power.
Up to 389 horses of it.
Innovation and intelligence.
E-Force all-wheel drive.
It'll pin you to your seat.
Your very plush seat.
The all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya. Nissan Ariya with e-Force expect availability early 2023. E-Force cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. E-Force and 389 horsepower available on Platinum Plus. Nissan calculation using 1-foot rollout testing with long-range battery and e-Force only in 4 with e-step off. These results are for comparison only and should not be attempted on public roads. Drive responsibly. See nissanusa.com for details.
I know a lot of you really want the State Farm personal price plan, but what's with the oversharing? Like this message Mateo left.
Jake from State Farm, you should know orange juice commercials make me cry. I feel bad for the oranges.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm personal price plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're streaming live on YouTube. Search for San Antonio Sports Star. And don't forget to subscribe. Mike Jimenez here with you till 3 o'clock. Tim Spence has taken the day off. James Pledger's here co-piloting this show with me. Pledge, did you notice that for about 20 minutes of that press conference, Mike McCarthy just stood there doing nothing?
Oh, no, my favorite part, because I pointed this out to you, because we're watching the press conference live on YouTube, and he was just sitting there between Jerry and Steven.
Literally twiddling his thumbs. Literally.
Just looking back and forth at whoever was talking, and you could see he's looking at Jerry with this look.
Okay, because Jerry
don't you dare say anything. Don't you dare give away our draft plans.
Exactly. And Stephen Jones spent the entire time laughing at his dad. Just every time Jerry would open his mouth, Stephen Jones would just start laughing and laughing and laughing. But I took a little bit away, okay? One of the things about it is this is the narcissism that is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones says, well, we could go up in the draft. We might stay at 26. We might trade down. Either way, just keep thinking of us. That's exactly what he said. Just keep thinking of us.
No, and you should. I think that should be every team's strategy in the draft. Think of us at all times, whether it's to trade up, trade back, whatever you need to do, keep us in mind, because if, like Jerry said in there, if the phone's not ringing, you're the one doing the call.
That's exactly where I was going to get to, because the NFL draft again begins in 3 days. Thursday night, James Pledger will be there in Kansas City. We're going to be having that.
2 more sleeps, baby.
Exactly. There you go.
Leaving on a jet plane.
There you go. We're going to have the draft here live on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're your home for the Dallas Cowboys. But Jerry Jones coming out there saying you don't want to be on that side where you're the one making the calls. You want someone to call you. Because if you're the one making the call, you're the one giving up the most amount of capital.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things he kept talking about there, notice how he was talking about points. He goes, we have the most number of points.
Yeah.
Just to kind of explain what points are.
It's a Jimmy chart.
Yes, there is a chart of every single pick in the draft. The number one pick in the draft is worth 3,000 points. And every pick beyond it is lower and lower and lower, right? So to the point where right now with the Dallas Cowboys picking at number 26, their draft pick has a point total of 700 points, right? So they want to move into the top 10, and that top 10 has a value of 1,400. That means they have to give up 700 points worth of trade value in order to move up. That's how they decide how this works. This is kind of like $1.04 are worth the same amount of money. 50 cents and 5 dimes, 2 quarters, 5 dimes worth the same amount of money. They trade these picks based on this chart, unless there's a team that's highly desperate. Okay, teams like the Denver Broncos when they went after Russell Wilson, teams like the Cleveland Browns when they went after Deshaun Watson.
Teams that are ultimately probably looking for a quarterback.
Exactly. It's almost always quarterback driven. Keep in mind, we heard a soundbite from Todd Archer of ESPN, and Archer was talking about the fact that the Cowboys sometimes think back to a trade that they did back in 2012. Think about that. It's been over a decade when they went after Mo Claiborne out of LSU. Claiborne was considered to be this hotshot defensive back, the best defensive back since Deion Sanders, and he was a dud. Cowboys traded their first-round draft pick, It was a swap with the Rams, 6-14, and the Cowboys also gave up a second rounder for the rights to move up to get Mo Claiborne. Now, Mo Claiborne played for 7 seasons, got a Super Bowl ring out of it, but, he was considered to be a disappointment for where he was drafted and what was expected of him. So find that to be interesting because the Cowboys, if they are truly looking back at a trade from 11 years ago, that is too far-sighted when it comes to things. Because, come on, man, you're going to have good trades, you're going to have bad trades. The Cowboys sometimes win them, like the Herschel Walker trade from the 80s, and sometimes they will lose the trades. That doesn't mean that you get skittish or you get cautious about doing it. If it's the right deal, the right player, you go after them. That's the thing about the Eagles last year. The Eagles made the Super Bowl. They went all in, made the Super Bowl, had a chance of winning it, didn't. But look at that team. They've lost 4 starters on the defensive side of the ball. They're sitting there with 2 first-round draft picks, number 10 and number 30. Okay, they got that second first-rounder because of a trade they did last year with the New Orleans Saints. So right now, the Eagles are in a position where they might be able to beef up their offense, or they can replace some of the pieces that they lost on the defensive side of the ball. They have been rumored to be going after a running back. Last week, the rumor was, well, they're going to go after Bijan Robinson. If Atlanta doesn't take him at 8, they've got that pick at number 10. It's basically a freebie, if you will, because they got that pick from the Saints last year. And they have another pick at 30 for crying out loud. But then this weekend, Pledge, you and I were on the golf course, and we heard the rumor that we thought was pretty substantiated, but it wasn't. The fact that the Eagles had landed Derrick Henry in a trade.
Now, to be fair, this could still very well happen.
That's exactly where I was going with that.
Because this may be something that has worked out, but will be consummated on draft night.
Right. A.J. Brown is somebody, wide receiver for the Eagles, who played with Derrick Henry with the Titans back in the day. Is very, very supportive. Like, bring Derrick Henry over. So what would that cost? And I am struggling with the idea of who would I rather have, Derrick Henry or Bijan Robinson? Because Derrick Henry is somebody who is, a force of nature. This is a guy who can, get 16, 17, 1,800 yards rushing in a single season. But at the same time, he's a little bit older. He's been around for a while. He's been playing for the Titans since 2016, had 1,538 yards rushing last season, 349 carries. Get this, in 2020, 378 carries. How often do you see running backs take it 378 times from the backfield? He also had 2,000 yards rushing that season. This is a guy that's had double-digit touchdowns in each of the last 5 years, 13, 10, 17, 16, 12. The guy gets in the end zone. The guy rushes for a lot of yards. But he's also somebody who's older. He's 29 years old. Which would you rather have, a 29-year-old Derrick Henry or a 22 or 23-year-old Bijan Robinson? Because right now, I'd go with Bijan. Not only because he's highly talented, but it's also because we know what happens to running backs when they turn 30. They fall off a cliff.
And it's not just that. You have a running back coming off an injury. You have a running back making $10.1 million. That's unsustainable, as we have seen in the NFL right now, especially when you're paying Dak Prescott and Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence. And you've got the contracts of Micah and CD and Trayvon all coming down the pipe. Like, you've got to start looking forward at what's most important. And having a running back on a cheap rookie deal is extremely important, and not paying that running back market value.
But for the Eagles, what would be a better deal for them? Is it a win now type of thing? That's the only thing I can wrap my head around.
Bijan would be great for them, and maybe that's why this trade hasn't officially been consummated, is the fact that they want to know if Bijan's going to be there at 10 or if he'll be gone before him.
That's when the fireworks are set off, right? If you see Atlanta at 8, okay, there's 2 things I'm looking forward to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
The number 2 overall pick belonging to the Houston Texans. What do they do at that point?
God, I'm gonna go.
Do they
crazy?
Do they skip on C.J. Stroud? Do they take Will Levis? Do they go and take somebody else instead? That's going to be like, okay, first domino to fall. Fireworks at that point. And then at number 8, if you see Atlanta take somebody other than Bijan Robinson, maybe take a stud wide receiver, so that Desmond Ridder can have someone to throw to. Dude, fireworks. The next half hour of the draft is going to be amazing.
It would be incredible. You are surrounding Desmond Ridder with talent if you select a Bijan Robinson, for the same reason that we said this about the Cowboys or the Eagles or anyone else.
Right.
Having him and Tyler Algier, who had 1,000 yards as a rookie last year and was a great surprise in the third, fourth round out of BYU for them, having those two paired together makes your team really good because running backs are extremely valuable. And then you've got Cordell Patterson on top of that. Like, you've got a bunch of weapons to surround Desmond Ridder with. It's not like don't have a lot of talent if you're Atlanta anyway. You got Kyle Pitts coming back. You've got Drake London, who you took last year in the top 10. Like, they've got talent on the offensive side of the football. Now it's just about surrounding that quarterback with as much as possible. I'm still I question the Bijan at 8, though, just because of the needs on the other side of the ball for Atlanta and where they're picking and who would be available.
Way too many needs for a luxury pick.
For a luxury pick, exactly. And so while these rumors have grown louder and the money has shifted in Vegas, I'm trying to make sense of it, and it doesn't make enough sense to where I could see them pulling that trigger.
Now, I was asking the question, should the Cowboys counter with whatever move the Eagles do, or do they just stick to their game and take the best player available? Because if the Eagles go and get Bijan Robinson at 10, or they trade that 10 pick to get Derrick Henry instead, at that point, I'm going to be screaming at the TV, Cowboys, get a defensive lineman, get somebody to stop the run.
What if they trade, and this is, I imagine it would be, the 30th pick for Derrick Henry?
That would be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, think about it. He's an older running back.
No. Because
you're taking on a bloated contract. You're relieving salary off of their cap, which they are hard against.
Right. No, I see what you're saying with that, because if Bijan is not to be trusted as being, you never get a running back in the top 10, or you never get him in the top 15, well, then Bijan, who I just looked up right now, is 21 years old. What does that say about a 29-year-old running back who has that many miles on the odometer? Okay. He probably is worth a second-round draft pick or the 30th pick in the draft, which is a glorified second-round draft pick. And if it's the second to last in the first round.
If they're truly offloading him, it's to get relief from the salary cap. They're trying to hard reset this thing. And while they want as much value as they can get for Derrick Henry, I don't think the value will match his production, at least over the next year or two.
Aaron Rodgers could be traded on draft night as well. Oh my God.
Oh, he absolutely will.
I'm
That's
super
when
excited about
I expect that thing to go down.
Super excited
Have
about this.
you seen the rumors that San Francisco might be back in on him?
Might get back in play. Exactly. Again, the draft starts Thursday night here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're your home for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys right now picking at 26. You're going to have the Texans right now at 2 or 12. What are they going to do? Again, you can listen to the draft here. The drama on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And speaking of drama, man, what a fight Saturday night. King Brian got knocked out. Is Tank now boxing's biggest star? This is Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pick is in. Let's go to the commission. The Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
This Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here with the Blitz, broadcasting live at Slackers, Thousand Oaks, followed by the draft at 6 on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit JoeGomezLaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Step up your lunch game at Twin Peaks. They've got the light and hearty combos starting at just $7.99. They've got the savory soups you're after, crisp salads, and a variety of sandwiches to satisfy your every craving. Enjoy your next lunch break at Twin Peaks. And are you looking for a job? Guess what? They can make a fun and exciting place for you to earn some great money. Twin Peaks is the team for you, and they're looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, bussers, barbacks, and more. Text WORK for TP to 85000 to apply. That's WORK. Number 4, TP to 85000.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Oh my goodness, Nigel. You're wearing a towel, shower cap, and flip-flops, and you're holding a toilet brush?
I'm all in this year, Joel, representing Quartermoon Plumbing and AC during the Battle of Showers.
It's called Battle of Flowers. Folks, at Quartermoon Plumbing and AC, we love Fiesta and we love our city. And when your home's pipes crack like cascaronis or your AC sounds like an out-of-tune mariachi, we'll fix the problems fast and at a fair price. Call Quartermoon 651-5899. Nigel, you deserve a Fiesta pin. Hold still.
Ow! I should have worn a shirt.
License number M16004, EACLA 000743458.
Gold and other precious metals stand the test of time and can help you diversify your portfolio. Jason Minix here for Noble Gold Investments. Physical assets like gold and silver have weathered countless financial storms. You have seen what has happened to some banks recently. Gold is the most stable asset outside of any government control. At Noble Gold Investments, they help protect your financial future by offering a secure and convenient way to invest in physical precious metals, rare coins, or a gold and silver IRA. Gold, silver, and other precious metals will always protect against market fluctuations. At noblegoldinvestments.com, learn how investing in precious metals help guard against inflation, hedge against the dollar, and so much more. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Use promo code STAR to get a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with each gold or silver IRA if you qualify. noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Hey, it's Joe Reinagle, and this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Tim Spence is out today. James Pledger filling in. You know what pissed me off about Saturday night's fight? Tank, King Ryan. I was pissed off after the fight, seeing the photos of them hugging each other. The photos and the video of them, smiling together, not being mad and angry at each other, because the buildup to the Tank fight against King Ryan was the fact that they hated each other. They wanted to bet each other's purses and all of that stuff. And at the end, they were like, we respect each other. We love each other. And then Ryan's there going, I'd like to have a rematch, please. Can I have another payday like this one more time? But Pledge, you saw the fight. I saw the fight. Give it a grade. Give it a letter grade as to what you saw out there.
I saw an A.
Really?
Yeah. I loved it.
I was going to go B+ with this one.
Yeah, you're a stingy grader, so I get that. It was highly entertaining. There was not a lot of dancing around the ring. There was a lot of
the first round was that way.
there was shots. You got Ryan Garcia was really winning that fight with his length and his reach early, and then Tank finally caught him with one and put him on the mat, which kind of turned the tides a little bit early. But I thought the fight was great. I thought it was really anybody's fight, even though Tank kind of looked like he was controlling a little bit of it later in the rounds. But then Ryan Garcia got back in on him. But when he got in on him and he was taking control of the match, that's when Tank hit him with that kidney shot that dropped him. And I heard this morning on R&R, Rudy was saying that the match was weak. And I heard Rob talking about you can't go out like that. I don't know if you've ever been hit with a kidney shot.
Yeah.
Your body shuts down and you physically can't go.
It was one of those things where
and it's a delayed reaction.
Ryan Garcia took 2 steps back and 3 seconds later put his knee down to the canvas. And I'm not saying that I'm not giving this an A grade for any other reason that I wanted it to last a couple rounds longer. Had it been a 9-round match, the way that it was going, 10-round match, it was going to be an A fight for me. First round, they danced around each other a little bit. They were filling each other out, jab, jab, jab. Second round, when Tank put him on the canvas, Ryan Garcia snapped back up. Okay, that wasn't one of those punches that was going to be a knock out blow. It stunned him. Okay, it stunned him because Garcia was trying to take advantage of his height advantage, his length advantage. I mean, I didn't realize how much bigger he was compared to Davis until the fight started. I was like, oh my God, I knew that Davis was the better fighter, but Davis was able to get inside, and that's what he needed to do. Garcia did not jab enough.
What happened was Davis, in that second round, when he put him on the ground, he just caught him. Like, he was losing the fight at that point.
Yeah, it was a missed punch by Garcia, and
it left him open.
Wide open.
Caught him. He just lost his balance, went down, popped right back up. It wasn't a punch that was going to hurt. What hurt him was that kidney shot, though.
No. That punch in the second round was welcome to Vegas, baby. But
I loved it, and I can't wait because I expect this to be a rematch, and if not a trilogy. I saw enough out of this fight that I would watch that one again.
It was entertaining enough, which is, I'm glad, because for about a decade and a half, I was subjected to Floyd Mayweather Jr. fights.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the last 3 or 4 years, last 5 or 6 fights, I refused to pay any money for it because Floyd Mayweather Jr., as great of a boxer as he was the most boring fighter I've ever seen in my entire life. Tank Davis, 29-0, still undefeated. Of those 29 victories, 27 by knockouts. I want to see that guy fight, okay? Because somebody's hitting the canvas when Tank Davis is in the ring. Now, I don't know how big of a star he's going to be, whether he's as marketable. I don't know if he has that personality yet. He's got the game, though, man. Tank Davis can fight. Do I want to see him against King Ryan again? Well,
yes.
Yeah, but I don't think Ryan has a chance at all. I don't think that Garcia has a chance at all against Tank if they fought a second time. I'd watch it again. He might last 8 or 9 rounds, but Tank was the one who predicted round 7, I'm knocking him out. Round 7, he knocked him out.
Sure.
Called his shot, Babe Ruth style.
I could say, and probably did say at some point, I'm going to put it on the fairway on 14, about 310 yards out, and leave us about 100 yards of the flag. I was right. I did.
That shot to the liver, though, man. Ooh. And the problem with it is that the angle of the camera on that shot,
you couldn't tell,
was over the shoulder, and you really couldn't see what was going on. You didn't see it for all its glory
until the 3rd or 4th replay finally.
Right. I remember when Pacquiao got knocked out one time, and it was a body blow. It's one of those things where when you see it, your body ripples.
Mm-hmm.
And Tank, man, that's my guy right now. I was super excited. And by the way, Ryan Garcia skipped out on an interview with me last year.
That's why you don't like him. Got it.
Screw him. Hit the canvas one more time.
Sure.
Hit him in the kidneys.
See, this is what I need. This is This is what boxing needs.
But you need hatred.
No,
they didn't hate each other afterwards. Garcia was there hugging him, posing for photos at the ring. He had just gotten knocked out.
I don't care if you don't hate each other, but neither one's ducking a fight. It was an extremely good fight. They didn't duck around the ring. Like, it's exactly what UFC gives us, which is why UFC to the younger generation is a more popular brand of combat sport. You see the big fights. Nobody's playing around with one another. And when it comes to the cards, you don't feel like you got gypped at the end of it.
Amen, brother, because boxing has been robbed by the Don Kings of the world and the Bob Arums of the world who just like, no, this fighter is not going to fight this fighter until they're 43 years old. I want to see them in their prime. Garcia getting to his prime. Tank is already there, but for right now, pound for pound, for me, my favorite fighter is Tank. Another 2 hours of Jimenez and Spence. When we come back, let's talk about DeJounte Murray. Should he be suspended for his actions yesterday? He bumped a ref. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jimenez and Spence. Jimenez and Spence. KTFM, Floresville. And always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Texas Rangers have the second best record in the American League right now at 14-7. Tonight, open up a series on the road against the Cincinnati Reds. The Houston Astros have won 4 straight games, now second place behind the Rangers in the AL West. Astros start a series tonight at the Tampa Bay Rays. And Jason and Joe have Taste of the Northside tickets up for grabs on the Blitz, the giveaway at 5:15.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 2 of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. On the go at ESPNSA.com. Mike Jimenez here with you till 3 o'clock. We are streaming live right now on YouTube. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. Jason and Joe get going after this show at 3 o'clock. They have tickets to Taste of the Northside, which is one of the most popular Fiesta events. Again, they're going to give away tickets at 5:15 today on the Blitz. Now, when it comes to Fiesta for me, I'm just doing the Flambeau. That is it. That is all. I am not a Fiesta guy, but I got conned into going to the Flambeau parade. That's this Friday night. I got really nice tickets. I'll be in the KSAT 12 section over there. They have like a little private party going on for the KSAT viewers. I will be out there at the Flambeau with my wife and 2 of my 3 kids. That is all my Fiesta this year. All of it.
Why do you hate
don't
San Antonio?
Dude, I mean, I used to do it when I was younger. College night at Nyosa. Remember back in the day with La Semana? And you'd have all of these different things going on around town, but it just became too bougie. And then the things that are not bougie became too dirty. I mean, my family went to Market Square this past weekend, and they were talking about the overflow trash cans. It's just a lot of people. And, 25-year-old Michael, 35-year-old Michael would stomach it. Mid-40s Michael, I'm okay. I'm okay.
So you're old.
Yes. Well, Taste of the Northside, I mean, those are primo tickets right there. Like, people beg for these tickets. They are pricey tickets.
Well, they should.
You can get, I mean, that is some incredible food out there. That is not chicken on a stick. That is prime food over there. And again, Jason and Joe have those tickets at 5:15 today on the Blitz.
And everything benefits the Brighton Center. So,
oh yes,
don't forget the fact that even if you don't win these tickets today, you can go get some. And if you enter promo code ESPN at checkout when you buy tickets, you can get $100 off.
Very, very, very cool. It's going to be a wet week. 60% chance of rain on Tuesday, 30% chance on Wednesday, 50% on Thursday, according to my weather app. So it might be spotty showers out there. I will say this, though. Sunday morning at my house, it came down like buckets again. But I'm happy to report this time all 3 dogs were inside the entire time. Okay? Everyone back off. Everyone leave me alone. Okay?
You brought this on yourself.
It's funny because I'm a very good dog owner. I'm a very good one. I am a lovey-dovey dog owner. Took my dog out for a little photo shoot yesterday at Holmes High School because I have a puppy that is a husky. I am a Holmes husky.
We saw you doing the Michael Vick got out of prison, welfare dog tour.
One of our listeners, John Dyer, says this appears as though you're a politician trying to.
It's the reclamation.
Exactly. As though I don't do this with my dogs anyway. You know what I'm saying? I would have been there anyway, but it was funny. Sunday night, my golden retriever, Cody, standing on top of my chest because of the lightning and the thunder. And then Daisy,
put him outside.
Daisy and Duncan, my Shih Tzu and my husky, who don't get along for that night, decided they were going to hold each other because they were scared of the storm outside. Meantime, my wife is there going, I cannot believe we have about 200 pounds of dog, me and her on top of the bed. I'm surprised the bed didn't just like fold out at that point. But again, my dogs were perfectly safe and sound. Kielbasa Smoke Beats phone line, 656 ESPN, 656-3776. I do have a dog question that I have for pleasure, though. My aunt and uncle are in town because my nephew, Jerry, and his new bride, Mandy, got married on Friday night in Canyon Lake. It's beautiful at the preserve over there.
That's why you weren't on our bus tour.
That's correct. So I have all this family from California that's in town. And my Aunt Mary is very big into dogs. Okay. And she has this very little yapper of a dog. And she was complaining to me yesterday about the fact that her dogs are chewing through their sweaters. And I gave her a look of like, they're what? And she goes, yeah, I got them sweaters on Amazon and they're chewing through them within 2 or 3 days. And it got me thinking, where do we stand on clothes on animals? Is that a good thing, a bad thing? Because I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to it. I'm not going to make fun of somebody if they do that. I just wonder if it's like a daily thing or not.
Well, you have no room to make fun about anybody about anything. But you know how we'll always say,
I don't give a damn about your dog.
I could give even less about somebody you know's dog.
Okay, well, no, but let's just talk about just dogs in general. If you are going by someplace,
is it my dog?
Okay, we have Sheldon who brings his dog in all the time, right?
Josie, I care about. She's family.
Yes, Josie is family over here. This dog is in our building.
These other dogs aren't family.
And I love Josie. Josie's a great dog, right? But if Sheldon came in and brought Josie a sweater, would you think something weird about that?
Yes, only because it's Greg Shelton.
Okay, so it
doesn't make sense.
So part of it is the person, is what you're saying. Because my aunt was coming back at me like, well, you've never dressed up your dog before? The only dog I've ever dressed up was my dog Baylor, who passed away a few years ago. But I dressed her up for Halloween. So it wasn't like a Wednesday type of thing. It's like, oh, we're going to the mall. I'm taking my dog. Here's an Eddie Bauer sweater, right? Because apparently dogs get Eddie Bauer brand clothing. I did not know that. But I'm down with the bandana. Okay, when they go to the groomers and they get the bandana, dude, I love the bandana. I don't know if I consider that clothes. It's a bandana. People reached out to me on Twitter saying, well, what about jewelry? What about dogs that wear a necklace or a chain that's beyond the collar?
I mean, to each their own, I guess. But, for me, we had a Vizsla growing up, and I don't like to subject people to things that I did with my dog when I was growing up because, like Rob says, don't give a damn.
Don't give a damn about your dog. Now, my wife brought up a point yesterday.
But we put coats on Star in the winter because as a Vizsla, she was a short-haired dog, and the cold was cold. So she felt a lot better outside when she was wearing a coat when it was cold out.
My wife was talking about getting these shoes for the dogs because if you walk them in the summer, it's so hot that it could burn the pads on their feet. So she says, maybe we should invest in something like that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense because that's the health of the dog to me. I don't think I could dress them, although I'm sure they look fantastic. But me, bandanas, shoes, I'll give a thumbs up on that. Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line, 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Lots to get into in this hour. We're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs against Sacramento Kings, the Warriors. that looks destined for 7 games. But real fast, before we get to commercial break, let's talk about DeJounte Murray. Did you see the video of DeJounte?
Mm-hmm.
Think he's going to get suspended?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think there's any way he can dance around that. Former Spur DeJounte Murray, for those of you who did not watch the game, it was game 4 between the Celtics and the Hawks. Celtics were up 2-1. They're playing in Atlanta. Atlanta trying to even up the series, and it wasn't going their way. The Celtics were up the entire game, up by like 5 to 10 points, essentially from the get-go, right? Coming down the stretch, Celtics pull away, and right around the 2-minute mark, DeJounte Murray gives up. He gave up. Trae Young was hustling his ass off, trying to make steals, trying to knock down 3-pointers, and for a while they got it down to like 5, while DeJounte was out in the corner sulking the entire time. I cannot believe DeJounte Murray gave up that way on his team in a playoff game while Trae Young is doing his thing. It's
but
okay.
You were so mad that the Spurs got rid of DeJounte.
Yes, I was, but this is a different time. It has now passed. It is now playoff DeJounte, and what we're seeing from him is the rest of the okay, you know, whenever you see some games where it's like...
You don't think they saw the indicators of what DeJounte was like?
Well, they saw that on Instagram later on. But when you have 4 other players on the team still trying, you got to keep trying, okay? It's not like all 5 of them wave the white flag and they're walking off the court, or it's 45 seconds to go. There was like 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. And Trae Young knocked down a 3, stole the ball, made another bucket, got it down to like 5 or 6, and the entire time, DeJounte Murray is kicking rocks on the side of the court. So that being said, at the end of the game, for whatever reason, DeJounte goes and approaches the official from behind and bumps the official, obviously out of anger, and then walks off. Hawks fans are all over Twitter right now posting video of Jason Tatum bumping the same official earlier in the game while trying to make his way to the free throw line. Okay? Tatum's going to be fined. But there's nothing that he did that I thought was suspension worthy because the official was in the way of the free throw line. Unless Tatum's going to walk all the way around. Tatum was in the wrong, though. Okay? But at the same time, the official literally stepped in his way. I see that as a fine.
The official can't be in the way.
Well,
you know what spot you're supposed to be in as an official.
No. This was after a play.
I know.
So Jason Tatum went in, got fouled.
That's what I'm
was
saying.
Going to the free throw line, was behind the backboard making his way.
But
the
if
official
you knew
stood.
There was a foul.
Right.
Are you going to stand in the way of the free throw line as an official?
No, you shouldn't be. The official shouldn't have been there.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say that the official was never wrong. I was like, well, in that sense right there,
the official was in the wrong spot.
He wasn't reporting the foul. The official was not administering the free throw yet. And if you do administer the free throw, you don't stand right there. So Tatum is like the closest distance between 2 spots is a straight line, right? The shortest distance. He was walking straight to the free throw line. The official didn't move. They bumped. That's going to cost him some money. DeJounte Murray, I would be so upset if DeJounte Murray is not suspended. So upset. That would be a fitting way.
Brooks wasn't suspended.
You know what? Let's talk about Dylan Brooks on the other side, because Dylan Brooks, what is up with players going after the groins of guys, man? What is going on right now in the NBA? You got Draymond Green, you've got Dylan Brooks, you've got Joel Embiid. What the heck is going on here? Let's talk about the NBA playoffs also. Are the Sacramento Kings in trouble? Jimenez Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, we're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft, and it's all here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The NBA playoffs continue. Can Golden State take one on the road? The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Hi, I'm Joe Reinagle. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They're reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate, 210-785-0994, or go online at stevensroofing.net.
Diamonds Direct's biggest sale all year is going on now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, in-store designer appearances, and special financing. Imagine 20% off Diamonds Direct's already value prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mounting. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for spring. It's the most exciting event all year with extreme savings and exceptional value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry extravaganza. Details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Texas Cheer Liquor is now up to 9 different locations. Why would you shop with the big guys when you can shop local? Check them all out at TexasCheerLiquor.com. And don't forget, they got those kegs for delivery for the big fight. That's TexasCheerLiquor.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on the go. ESPNSA.com. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. Tim Spence has taken the day off. James Pledger is filling in today. Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line 656 ESPN 656-3776. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs because the Sacramento Kings yesterday, man, they had a chance. They had a chance to go up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors. And I'm not going to say that they blew it because they were down the stretch. But Harrison Barnes, man, the second that shot went up, the game-winning shot went up, I told my wife, that ain't going in. Clank. Series now tied at 2. De'Aaron Fox is a stud. The Warriors are old.
So?
But Sacramento right now, though, is still in the driver's seat. It's a 3-game series at this point, right? They got 2 games in Sacramento. And all I know is I'll believe in the Golden State Warriors, who are the NBA champs. I will believe in them when they start winning road games. Because so far this year, including the regular season and playoffs, have an 11-32 record on the road. For some reason, what they're doing right now does not translate on the road.
You know what? The 11-32 record on the road was due to a lot of injuries throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
They're healthy, probably for the first time all year. And I will take experience over inexperience in a tie series late, especially when the reigning world champion has the momentum all of a sudden any day of the week.
Right now, I'm going to take that crowd in Sacramento. That crowd has waited 16 years for that team to be in the playoffs. They go up 2-0. 93% of the time, the team that goes up 2-0 actually wins the series. I'm still betting on Sacramento to pull this one out. Sacramento has the better team. They really do. They're the younger team. They're the more athletic team. I trust them. They're more aggressive than Golden State. Golden State, how do they win right now? Knocking down threes, right? They're not as aggressive. Sacramento gets to the free throw line, and De'Aaron Fox is the truth. That is a very, very good player. His coming out party right now. I understand what you're saying, Pledge. I understand. This is the world champions right there. You've got Steph, you've got Clay, you've got Draymond, but all of them in their mid-30s, man. All of them in their mid-30s. Meantime, you got Jordan Poole and other players on Golden State who reportedly have come out and said that they're upset with the number of minutes that they're playing, and they don't like the direction of where the team's going with them. They know that there's going to be loyalty towards Steph and Clay and Draymond. And there's no room for them until these guys are gone. I believe Draymond Green will probably be gone in the next 12 to 13 months because he has one more year left on his deal. It's a player option. This might be the last hurrah, really, for the Golden State Warriors as the way that they've been constituted. And Golden State, what a great franchise that they are. That dynasty right there. Where did they get Steph? The draft. Where did they get Clay? The draft. Where did they get Draymond? Second round of the draft. Where do they get a lot of these guys like Jordan Poole and, these free agent pickups that they've had? Very, very smart franchise. Golden State, props to you. But man, I am pulling for Sacramento so bad in this series. So bad in this series. But I was watching the game yesterday thinking to myself, even though the Kings were up at halftime, even though it was close down the stretch, I didn't have the impression that Golden State was going to lose that game. But it switches with the home court advantage. That's why it's a home and home, right? The Kings held serve, the Warriors held serve, but the Warriors have to break serve in order to win this stinking series. And they haven't done it yet. And again, they're 11-32 on the season. Tonight we have two games, Bucks and Heat. The Bucks are up 2-1 in this series. Giannis is back in the lineup. He had that really bad back injury in game 2. He missed game 3 and almost all of game 2. That was a very, very ugly fall that he had, but he's back from the back injury. Also tonight, Grizzlies taking on the Lakers. Lakers up 2-1 in this series. Could take a commanding 3-1 lead. Huge game. And it's all going to be about LeBron. It's all going to be about Dillon Brooks because Dillon Brooks got ejected from game 3 after taking a swipe at LeBron's crotch. It looked more and more, if you compared it to Joel Embiid, if you compare it to what happened with Harden, and when you compare it to the crotch shot from the stomp from Draymond Green and Joel Embiid, and all of the different things that we've seen, this one was one of the weaker ones. Probably the second weakest of them all.
Weaker in terms of contact or weaker in terms of
interpretation?
I thought it was clear. That was intentional. He took a big swipe. He wasn't even trying for the ball.
Maybe it was the angle that I saw, right? Because the weakest of them all
was James Harden.
Was the Harden one. Okay, that was okay. I understand why a flagrant was called, but an ejection was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Embiid should never have done that. He was in the wrong, but I get it because the player was trying to show him up.
But he should have been ejected.
Yeah. Well,
yes. It was intentional. It was intentional.
So Dillon Brooks, correct me if I'm wrong, led the league in technical fouls this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's known for, right? Being a big old whiny crybaby.
Oh, remember, he was the one that called LeBron James old, and you don't respect someone until they give him 40.
Exactly. Played 23 minutes in that game because he had 5 fouls, right? You're doing a fantastic bang-up job holding LeBron. Again, LeBron James is not infallible. LeBron James can have a bad game, but he's going to come back more often than not. But let's hear from Dillon Brooks because Dillon Brooks cried about being ejected and how he's being portrayed after game 3.
The media making me a villain, the fans making me a villain, and then that just creates a whole different persona on me. So now you think I intended to hit LeBron James in the nuts. I'm playing basketball player. So if I intended, and that's whatever is in the flagrant 2 category of having a family too. And you think I did that, that means you think I'm that type of person. And that's why I don't rate Mark Taylor at all.
All right, first thing I thought of when I heard Dylan Brooks after this game with this soundbite making me out to a villain, I was thinking of Childish Gambino. LeBron should come up to him and go, "Don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you're doing you." Sweatpants 4, great song.
No,
Anyway.
this is the problem with what he said. The media is not trying to make him out to be a villain.
He's the villain.
He's portrayed himself as that.
Right. If you were calling LeBron James old, right, to his face and jawing at him the entire time, if you are somebody who leads the NBA, who has more technical fouls than Draymond Green and Luka Doncic, you are the villain. You are the villain. Now, I understand why he got ejected, and maybe I misspoke when saying that I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I'm saying in comparison to the other things that we've seen so far in the playoffs. Was it ejectable? Sure, why not? But it could also have been construed as, it could have been misinterpreted in a way. It could have been defended in a way by saying that he was going after something.
No, it could.
Okay, maybe I'm giving him a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt. But Dylan Brooks, man.
When you write the
whining
book
and
on
crying,
yourself, you
yeah.
cannot complain after the fact that people are treating you the way you've written your book. You've made yourself out to be this guy. You've proved it all the last 2 years, actually. You have tried to portray yourself as this character. So now that we are giving you credit for being the persona you've portrayed, you don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore.
How did Dylan Brooks become Dylan Brooks? That's my thing. When I look at that team,
like this,
I think of Ja.
By doing this, that's how he became.
So he's the enforcer of that team, right? He's the Draymond Green of that team.
He's
And
Bill Laimbeer.
Whenever you are, I see where you're going with that. But whenever you hear the phrase, you're compared to Draymond Green, I get turned off. Because Draymond Green, his basketball play is so old. I'm not saying old as an age. It's just old when it comes to
old man game.
It's an old man game. It flies in the face of analytics.
He plays below the net.
Yeah. And
he's got in the pickup game. You're going to be in his hip the whole game. You got a hand in his face the whole game. But somehow he leaves with like 13, 10, and 10.
Dude, if Draymond Green played for any other team that didn't have Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, didn't have two of the best shooters of all time, Draymond Green would just be another dude. That is a guy that plays decent defense who shoots 31% from three. He would be just another guy. He wouldn't be a star. He wouldn't have a popular podcast. He would just simply be a dude. And at the end of the day, guess what? Draymond Green, just like Tony, just like Parker, just like Manu, just like Timmy, just like Pop, will be in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, riding the coattails of Steph, riding the coattails of Klay Thompson.
Bruce Bowen's 12 is in the rafters for the same reason.
No, I get that. But there's a difference between being in the rafters because you're being honored by a franchise. It's another thing to be in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, which is what Draymond Green will be.
And he should be, because his value to that team in the game of basketball.
But it's so specific to that team.
A lot of people's are. Not everyone's Tim Duncan. If you take Tony Parker and take him off the Spurs and put him in New York like he was trying to get traded to or signed to in the offseason, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Tony would have been good wherever he's at. Maybe not a Hall of Famer, but he would have been.
He would have been good.
Would have been
but
damn
not a
good.
Hall of Famer.
Manu Ginobili would have been damn good. In fact, Manu Ginobili probably would have had better stats had he been someplace else.
What I'm saying is your surrounding
great.
cast has a lot to do with who you are as a basketball player.
My problem with Draymond Green is if Draymond Green was with 3/4 of the teams in the NBA, Draymond Green would be a dude. He would be a guy averaging 26 minutes a game.
Without Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan would not be the greatest of all time.
Pippen's a great player.
He's a great player. But we saw, without Jordan, Pippen was an okay player. I saw him in Houston. I saw him in Portland. He wasn't the guy that we got from Chicago. Mainly because there wasn't a Michael Jordan.
That's James Pledger. I'm Mike Jimenez. Kielbasa, Smoke Meats phone line, 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Let's talk more about the NFL draft on the other side, because It's just 3 days away. You can hear the draft here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM on Thursday night. We're going to be on the road, by the way. The Blitz will be on the road at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, I believe the 281 and Thousand Oaks location that night. When we come back, let's talk about the draft, but more importantly, the Vegas odds on the position they believe the Cowboys are going to be taking at number 26. Plus, we have some new mock drafts to reveal. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Speaking of the draft, the favorite to go number 2 overall for the Houston Texans are currently picking, according to BetMGM, is Will Levis at minus 145 in the new odds. The San Antonio Brahmas don't make the playoffs in the inaugural XFL season, falling to the DC Defenders 29-28. And tonight in the NBA, we've got a couple of games, Heat and Bucks, and Grizzlies and Lakers.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here with Dwayne Shopping of Roof Fix. Hey, Dwayne, tell me about solar.
Well, you want solar to look beautiful. It's going to increase the value of your home. I mean, call us here at Roof Fix Solar Energy. Our solar is innovative. Our systems are installed just like shingles. They're really powerful, and we can really cut out in the utility bill.
Call 210-FIX-ROOF. It's time for solar. He said it. I'm doing it. Call 210-FIX-ROOF. Put it on your roof. Save some money. Call Roof Fix today.
Roof Fix, home of the low price guarantee.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie.
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity.
We're going to the city?
Authenticity.
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic. Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, did you know nacho fries are back at Taco Bell? But they're not going to hang around forever. So don't wait, or you might miss out on these hot, crisp fries covered in all those bold Mexican spices with delicious nacho cheese sauce. Or wait and just settle for flavorless fries. Regular, bland, spiceless, flavorless, flimsy, non-nacho fries. Just an absolute bummer of a fry.
Nacho fries are back. Get them today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation which fair.
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're streaming live right now on YouTube. Search San Antonio Sports Star and subscribe. My name's Mike Jimenez. Tim Spence has the day off, hanging out with James Pledger, one of my best buddies. One of my best buddies will be at the NFL draft without me on Thursday night. Getting his liver ready.
Get a plane ticket.
Didn't get the invite. Getting your liver ready for Kansas City when the Houston Texans are at number 2. Vegas says, who are they going to select again? With the number 2 pick, let's do the music thing real fast, the jingle. With the number 2 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans, according to Las Vegas, selects
Kentucky quarterback Will Levis.
Woo! And Pledger will lose his mind if that happens.
No, I mean, I don't like him, but when it comes to NFL teams, I'm convinced, and I've said this, if he's your guy, you don't wait around, you don't get cute, you go get your guy. If you believe he is your franchise quarterback, you do what you can to make sure that you get him.
Now,
and if they believe in Will Levis, they have a lot more information than I am privy to.
Okay, so you're going to trust the process. You're going to be like, okay, you want Will Levis? Let's go get Will Levis. You'll be perfectly fine. You'll be like, okay,
No,
I'll give this guy a chance.
Fine.
Because
But I have to give them the benefit of the doubt because of, in the past, this is what I've said, they have more information on these players than I do. I just haven't liked what I've seen. And a lot of that had to do with this year. He was surrounded by zero NFL talent. He's dealt with injuries all year. He gutted through them, and he just looked god-awful. The year before, he had some NFL players, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kennard on the offensive line. Like, there was some NFL talent around him. He looked pretty good, and that's the reason there was so much talk about him coming into the year.
Okay, but if the Texans have that pick at number 2 and they don't trade down, which would you rather them do? Get a defensive player at number 2 or get Will Levis?
I reiterate, if you truly believe that he is a franchise quarterback.
No, I'm asking as a fan. I'm not trying to ask you to rationale it by saying that you'll trust the process and the GM. As a fan, which would you rather have?
Well, as a fan, I've got every option available to me not named Bryce Young, right?
Like a meaningless win week 18 of the
meaningless win week 18 just blew everything up. But I look at, if I'm specifically testing or taking him what I have information to going into this process, I would have selected CJ Stroud at number 2 overall.
It makes sense. CJ Stroud's my favorite of the quarterbacks in the draft.
But if what's true about his cognition test, that would be a hard thing to overlook.
My thing about CJ Stroud is I think he has the highest floor. May not have the highest ceiling. For all we know, probably the highest ceiling is Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. But I think that the higher floors, where you're at least going to get a decent player, is Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I question their ceilings, though.
I don't question Levis and Anthony Richardson's ceilings are immeasurable.
Exactly. Like that's the thing.
They could be as good as any quarterback in the league with the tools that they have at their disposal. But I look at number 2 overall. I say Stroud, but if what's true about his S2 test, that measures a lot of metrics that are very important to a quarterback.
It translates.
And what's the knock on Ohio State quarterbacks? They don't translate, mainly probably because a lot of the stuff's predetermined reads.
Right.
And let's face it, he was playing with first-round wide receiver, first-round wide receiver, first-round wide receiver, future first-round wide receiver.
True, but so was Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow played with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but in Houston, you're not going to be playing with that. Joe Burrow is still playing with that in Tennessee or Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati. So I find that to be fascinating because, the ceilings of Anthony Richardson, somebody who can, leap, has a vertical of 40 inches, someone who has the height, who is fast, that can, just the physical talents that you cannot teach. Will Levis, the old joke of you can't teach height. Will Levis is the height that you want for the quarterback position.
Oh, I beg to differ. Like,
build.
He has the second best physical tools in this class. AR-15, Anthony Richardson, he's number 1 when it comes to your possible ceiling, because you look at his size, his weight, his speed. D'Amico Ryans mentioned this in his opening press conference and again later at the NFL owners meetings. He talked about the difficulty of having to defend playing 11-on-11 football, where the
Right.
quarterback is a threat.
Anthony Richardson is
He's a threat.
He is, I mean, a losing record in college. One game under 500 as a quarterback in college at Florida. But you just look at him. You can't teach his height. You can't teach his vertical. You can't teach his speed. And you just look at him and you just go, wow, if we just teach this guy the game, if we just teach him how to be a good quarterback, his ceiling is so high. Will Levis has that build as well. He's not as fast, he's not that, but he's got like the old school build that you would want for a quarterback. Meantime, you have Bryce Young, who's probably the smartest of the four quarterbacks.
Oh, absolutely.
And probably has a football mind is the best of all four, but he's sitting at 5'10" or standing at 5'10" and 1/8. Just is what it is. If Bryce Young's brain was in Anthony Richardson's body, Anthony Richardson would be the best prospect in decades. But he's not. And
Maybe ever.
And CJ Stroud, I think, has the highest floor. Because I don't know if you're going to be a star, but whenever they compare him to Dak Prescott, I see it. He's basically Dak. He's Jared Goff.
But do you want Dak at 2?
That's right. That's it. That's the thing there. That's why the Levis pick, or dare I say, slide back a few spots and get Richardson, would make sense. It's a home run hit if you get it. Dallas Cowboys are going to be picking at number 26. Jerry Jones today in the pre-draft press conference saying, well, we might move up, we might go back, or we might stay at 26. Thank you for the breaking news, Jerry Jones. But I found it interesting. John Machota of The Athletic, friend of San Antonio Sports Star, he's often on the Blitz, posted a photo, a screen grab of BetAG. And the odds as of today, according to this gambling site.
Wait, was this from Jameson Williams' phone?
Yes, it was. It was.
Was he outside the facility?
No, he posted it in the hotel room, so he got busted again for it. But stupid thing, man. Come on, man. Team hotel, you can get busted for gambling, whatever. So BetAG releases odds on the Dallas Cowboys as to who they think they're going to be taking according to position. Tight end right now is the highest odds, the best odds rather, at 2-1. Just slightly over 2-1 odds, defensive lineman. So that basically means that if you bet $100 that they're going to pick a defensive lineman and they get Reese, for example, from Clemson, you get your $100 back plus $230, right? Offensive lineman going off at just under 4-1 odds. Running back, 5.5-1 odds. So if you believe
they will do whatever it takes
to get Bijan, 5.5-1 odds right there. Wide receiver. These are the interesting ones. Wide receiver, 5.5-1 odds. I can see the Cowboys going after a receiver. 14-1 odds for a linebacker. A cornerback, 22-1 odds. Safety, 50-1, which is weird because Brian Branch of Alabama in a mock draft last week was projected to go to the Cowboys at 26.
Never made sense to me.
And then quarterback is the worst odds.
You signed Javon Curse, you signed Donovan Wilson, you have Malik Hooker. Like, you've not only got players there that you have spent money on at the position in terms of re-signing,
right,
but depth as well. That was the least pick that made sense to me.
Now, according to the mock drafts from today, because again, the NFL draft just 72 hours away-ish, we're getting a lot of mock drafts today and within the past 24 hours. CBS Sports now has the Cowboys taking linebacker Jack Campbell out of Iowa because of quote-unquote leadership and high IQ.
Coach's kid.
That's right. USA Today, Miles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson. I hope not, because I want my Saints to get him. NFL.com, Trenton Simpson, linebacker out of Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pro Football Network coming back and saying a name that we've heard a lot. Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. We heard from ESPN's Todd Archer talking about the Cowboys and what they're doing and why tight end makes sense. And I find that to be interesting because I thought Hendershot was that guy. I thought Ferguson was that guy. Why so much love towards the tight end position? Are these tight ends that good that you're going to get 4 or 5 drafted in the first round? I don't remember tight ends being the marquee position. But right now, the mock drafts are suggesting that these are like really, really, really good Darren Waller type, Travis Kelce type, Mark Andrews type. And if they're that good, and Mayer is considered to be the best all around, I wouldn't fault it.
I don't fault it. Mainly, I look at teams that, play late in the season. You got Dallas Goedert in Philadelphia. You got George Kittle in San Francisco. You've got Travis Kelce in Kansas City. Like, good teams have really, really good tight ends, Pro Bowl caliber tight ends. I mean, Cincinnati went out and got a former first-round pick in Hayden Hurst to come play for them. So, yeah, it's a pretty important. Like, the Buffalo Bills spent money to extend Dawson Knox.
Mm-hmm. I'm super excited, man.
Good teams have good tight ends.
They do, and they have good defenses, and they have a running game and a competent quarterback. And if you are a Cowboys fan, because the Texans have a lot of holes to fill, really, they should just be doing best player available.
They got a tight end right now, so I'm feeling a lot better about it after this last conversation we had.
And they got Dameon Pierce. But this draft really starts at 2. What happens to the Texans? And is there going to be a run on a certain position? Jerry Jones saying that actually it wasn't Jerry Jones. It was head coach Mike McCarthy talking about the fact that you want to have a strong board and be true to that board. You don't want to just like half-ass it and get worried because there's a run on a certain position. But again, the draft is going to be Thursday night. You can come watch it with us. We're going to be at the Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, 281 in Thousand Oaks. Chances are I'll be out there. Got to ask the wifey, but I'm pretty sure I'll be there. Kidding, I've already asked. Up next, golf cart etiquette. When I think about golf, I think about Jim Nantz going, it's a tradition like no other. But what about basing when you're out at the Golf Club of Texas or you're over at Olympia Hills? Are you okay with it? Is that bad golf etiquette to bounce, to bass music, play hard rock music on the links? We're going to talk about it with me and Pledge. Tim Spence has the day off. My name's Mike. You can catch me on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. Spence is at Spence at ESPNSA. And then Pledger is at I Am Pledger. We'll be back.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pick us in. Let's go to the commissioner. The Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
This Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here with the Blitz, broadcasting live at Slackers, Thousand Oaks, followed by the draft at 6 on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Having McDonald's breakfast is delicious. Having someone else get you McDonald's breakfast is delicious-er. Right now, get a baked breakfast with hotcakes for just $4.99. Only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
You can talk low carb all you want, but if you don't have a lineup of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the keto game. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are high protein and low carb. Plus, they're low sugar, gluten-free, and naturally loaded in collagen. So it is a no-brainer. Get the bold flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
For over 17 years, the award-winning legal team at George Salinas Injury Lawyers has been representing personal injury victims all across Texas. Have you been injured in an accident? George Salinas is ready to represent you with free consultations, 24/7 availability, and no attorney fees unless we win. George Salinas Injury Lawyers will help you get the results you need so you can focus on recovery. If you've been injured, one call could change your entire case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers, 210-225-0909, or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets
justice.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Cowboys are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Now, picture this music that we're listening to right now.
Lincoln Park.
Is this okay for the golf course?
Why not?
Well, because we had our challenge, our grudge match, our bragging rights tournament, Team Pledger against Joe's Jocks.
Mm-hmm.
Team Pledger won, which was me, you, Rudy J, Jason Minix. And the funny thing is that a lot of these golf courses these days are adding Bluetooth to the carts with speakers, and you can listen to music. And there are some people out there who are purists when it comes to golfing, where they're like, I don't want to hear any music. I want to hear the birds chirping, no distractions, no one talk, no one do anything. And they want to treat it like they're Sergio Garcia out on the golf course. There are others out there, though, who are like, no, man, let's have fun out here. Let's listen to Linkin Park. Let's listen to some Jay-Z, some hip-hop. Let's listen to some R&B out there. I know Rudy J was asking you to play some Stevie Wonder when we were playing.
I did.
And you did. But I find this to be funny because this wasn't always the thing. But Pledge, I'm with you. I'd rather hear music out there than listen to the birds.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Now, Tim Spence, on the other hand, by the way, Spence is off today. Pledge is filling in. Tim Spence, apparently when country music was being played by Ryan Spence was not doing so well. But you change it up and you give Spence his classic rock, suddenly he turns it up. And Rob Thompson was saying that from like holes 8 through 12, that he was on fire, that Spence was on fire with his irons, with his woods, because he was listening to John Mellencamp. He was listening to Rush and music like that. And Pledge, man, I'm sorry, man. There's only so much classic rock I can take in a particular day.
I'm the same.
I've got a good hour in me. I'm fine. I will enjoy it. But at some time, you got to change it up.
Look,
we were listening to Fall Out Boy for crying out loud.
Fall Out Boy. Basically, the only thing I didn't subject everyone to was boy bands.
That's true.
I played Tupac. The time before, I had like some Jay-Z and stuff rolling, some Eminem. I had Blink-182, Foo Fighters, Metallica, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. There was probably more of the punk pop than anything on that playlist.
Yeah, there was some Paramore being played,
but I played a little bit of everything because I wanted everyone.
Not only were you team captain, you were also our DJ.
Well, and that's the thing. You have your own. You could have Bluetooth to your own cart, and Rudy J could have listened to Jodeci.
No, if the two of us, if both of our carts, if we're on the same team or next to each other, we can't have Jodeci and Fall Out Boy being played at the same time. No, we can't.
Yes, we can.
It's
called a mashup.
It'll bleed into each other.
It's a mashup.
Now, okay, so we talked about some cart etiquette, and I am pro music on the golf course. Okay,
especially because in a non-scramble format, a lot of us aren't around the same ball at the same time. I'll be off at my ball. You'll be over at yours or Rudy's.
Oh, because you hit at 330 and I hit at 225. That's what you're saying.
Well, I was just gonna say because mine's down the middle and y'all's are off who knows where.
We were trying to revive that joke about did you hear where they built the new Super Walmart? And I
Yeah, it
tried.
was 2 Super Walmarts and a Costco this time.
Yeah, you're like it's an Amazon distribution system that's in the way. No, but it was so much fun over at Golf Club of Texas, and gonna be honest with you, Pledge, my putter, which was pretty good,
It was real good.
got better the more I drank.
Sure. We didn't get our first drinks in until the 7th hole.
Yeah, what was up with that? What
Well,
was
I
up
mean,
with that?
we were on. Well, yeah. I mean, we weren't on the course that early. It probably should have been quick.
Yeah, the cart girl was like, "Hey, we usually have a second rotation by now, but we got bogged down, or people. There were a lot of groups out there that were stopping them, so they were saying that they were taking a little bit longer than normal. You had a Bloody Mary, and you took the last Bloody Mary because I wanted one. I was gonna have my first Bloody Mary ever on the golf course, and you took it from me." Rebecca Gonzalez, which is out on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube right now, saying Pledge always has a fire playlist. People are asking about how much vacation time Tim Spence has. Want to ask? Thank you, Drew. Drew says, "Why can't you just use your earbuds if you have to listen to music?" Call me Judge Smalls.
I mean, I would.
Yeah,
I used to back in the day. You know, when I played competitively, I just throw some buds in between shots, walk to my next hole.
Anthony asked the question on YouTube. Pledge, did you graduate in 2006? You listen to the same exact music as I do.
99.
Okay, so that's the funny thing is that Pledge, you and I were in college at the same time. If I could go back in time and go to the quad or go to the student center or go to the old Main at Texas State,
you wouldn't have found me much. I spent a lot of my time on the square.
Yeah.
You would have found me at the Green Parrot, at Nephew's. After hours, I would have been at Valentino's getting some pizza.
Valentino's for pizza. That's right. That's right. How often did you go to Austin? Like 6th Street type stuff?
Probably once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like once a month back then.
Oh, no.
I was doing Texas State wrong.
No, you were. Because we'd spend 1 week going up and down 6th Street and the other week going down Dirty 6th.
Dirty 6th? What did I miss on that one?
Do you not know Dirty 6th?
No.
Okay. Well, 6th Street is a very popular side on the left-hand side of I-35.
Mm-hmm.
6th Street continues under I-35 to the other side.
No. Okay,
That's Dirty 6th.
I didn't know that was called that, but no. I did do that a few times.
It is not the same 6th Street.
No. You're essentially in somebody's living room at this point, because those didn't feel like a bar establishment. It felt like you were inside of a garage. You know,
a lot of the time.
I'm not talking about like a house garage. I'm talking about like an auto mechanic's garage. It just seemed like a little bit odd when it came to that. I remember going to Austin and doing foam parties. Like my roommate Daniel, if there was ever a foam party, it was like, Jimenez, we got to go. We got to go to the foam party. And there was a place called the Aquarium in Austin that had an epic foam party out there. The other things that we would do is that we would take those road trips to Dallas to go to music festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you over the weekend that I want to go to one because there's one in Lubbock. Is it Lubbock?
There's one in Vegas.
What's the one in Vegas?
When we were young.
Oh, really? Again?
Yeah.
My daughter went to last year's.
This year's going to have Blink-182.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's one that's going on. I want to say it's in Lubbock. It is Incubus and Third Eye Blind. Incubus played at Techport.
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
I love both of those bands.
My wife and I are talking about residencies in Las Vegas right now because there's so much out there. We're going to go to Vegas at some point this year. We don't know when, but some point this year, we're going to go to Vegas. We want to stay at Circa and go watch one of the residencies. Out of all the ones that are out there, and there's like some really good ones.
Yeah.
For some reason, the one I get drawn to the most, I want to see Usher.
You should.
I have a personal belief, and I've told you this at the bar before. This is a conversation you and I had over at the Rue Pub back in the day. If you took Usher and you put his music from the 90s and early 2000s, and you put him in a time machine and dropped him off in the year 2023, that music would be just as popular today as it was back in the 1990s, early 2000s, and the 2010s. Usher, timeless music. There's just something about him. I want to check him out. But we have another hour, a few minutes, and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports. When we come back, let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Tim Spence has the day off. I'm Mike Jimenez. And by the way, we have a giveaway. Completely forgot. Grab your phones. 656 ESPN 656 3776. Winner gets a family 4-pack of tickets to check out the San Antonio Missions tomorrow. Take it on Northwest Arkansas at the Wolf. It is a $2 Tuesday. Not only is it a family 4-pack of tickets, but it comes with a parking pass. Caller number 5, Kilbasa Smoke Meats phone line 656 ESPN 656 3776. Let's talk NBA playoffs when we come back. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM, Floresville, and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Brahmas lost to the DC Defenders this weekend, 29-28, and will miss the playoffs in its first XFL season. The San Antonio Missions are at 500 with a 7-7 record. They open up a series tomorrow at the Wolf against Northwest Arkansas. It's $2 Tuesday. And later on the Blitz, Jason and Joe are giving away tickets to Taste of the North Side, the giveaway at 5:15.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 3 of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, on the go at ESPNSA.com. If you missed any part of the show, check out the audio vault on ESPNSA.com, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. Again, it's the audio vault, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. All of our shows are in a podcast format. My name is Mike Jimenez. You can catch me on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. Spence is at Spence ESPNSA. He does have the day off. James Pledger is producing today's show. If you want to reach him on Twitter, he is at IamPledger. Man, the NBA playoffs this year have been incredible. I have been a big fan of what's going on the hardwood right now because there's just so much drama going on. You have the upstarts taking on, the legends. My favorite series so far has been Sacramento against Golden State. Sacramento coming in with the 3 seed. Sacramento is a team that has gone out there and has made the playoffs for the first time ever in 16 seasons. And as a reward, end up getting the world champion Golden State Warriors with future Hall of Famers and Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr as a future Hall of Fame coach as well. That has been a fantastic series. Yesterday, Game 4, the Warriors needed to win that game to knot things up at 2. Kings had a chance to win the game. 3-point shot, potential game winner, Harrison Barnes on the wing, 3-point shot, rattled out. And I had no faith that Harrison Barnes was going to make that shot. No faith in the world. In fact, I was watching the game with my wife, and as that play was unfolding, and they kicked the ball out to Harrison Barnes, I looked at my wife and I said, that ain't going in, and it didn't go in. Harrison Barnes doesn't play for the Golden State Warriors for a reason, and that's one of them. Remember back in the day, they got rid of him a while back. But I'm looking at that series, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a great template for the San Antonio Spurs. Because if you watch Sacramento play, you see a team that developed the draft, got a couple of pieces in free agency. This is a team that has gone out there and been very smart with their money, smart with their draft capital, and they get the players that they need in the draft. And we saw that yesterday because players like Keegan Murray had big games yesterday. Keegan Murray, a rookie, going out there and just knocking down shot after shot after shot. Keegan Murray knocked down 5 out of 7 3-pointers, 9 for 13 shooting on the day, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and is a rookie. De'Aaron Fox, somebody that they drafted years ago, 38 points on 14 of 31 shooting. De'Aaron Fox, this is his coming out party. This is somebody that you look at and go, wow, this guy is better than what we thought he was going to be. We knew he was good, but we didn't know he was this good because the spotlight has not always shined on him. Then you see players like Domantas Sabonis, who they got via trade. And these are the smart things that are needed in order for a team to get better and a team to start winning. This is a Sacramento team that went 48-34 on the season. Again, the series is now tied at 2. It goes back to Sacramento. That Sacramento crowd has to be hyped up to get the Kings back over the hump. Again, the Golden State Warriors are awful on the road this year. One of the worst teams in the NBA on the road. Golden State needs to win in Sacramento at least one time to win this series. But right now, as of right now, I'm a big fan of Sacramento in this series, even though it's still tied at 2 apiece. Now, how does this relate to the Spurs at all? It's because the Spurs right now are in a very interesting situation, and I am very, very hopeful for this team. I know that it was a very, very trying year. Believe me, as a lifelong Spurs fan, and I know a lot of people don't necessarily believe me when I say that, but I am a fan who not only celebrated back in the day when they won in 99, 03, 05, 07, and 2014, but I was there in the Hemisphere Arena back in the days when the Spurs were bad teams. I am 46 years old, man. I remember what it was like to go through those 21-61 seasons. And I remember being a fan without a lot of hope. Right now, if you were to ask me, am I optimistic or pessimistic about the Spurs? I would say that I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic because the Spurs have the draft capital. Somebody asked me recently about GM Bryant Wright, and they asked me the question, give me a letter grade as to what Brian Wright has done. And I said, I can't give you a letter grade because really he doesn't have just one job. He's got multiple jobs. And I give him a passing grade on 2 of the 3. I give him an A- on draft capital. The Spurs have done things to flip players for first-round draft picks. They flipped Thad Young. They flipped Derek White. They flipped DeJounte Murray for multiple picks. They flipped DeMar DeRozan for picks. They have done a very good job of getting draft capital. But when it comes to selecting the right player with that draft capital, the one that sticks out like a sore thumb is Josh Primo. Spurs spent a lottery pick on Josh Primo, a player that they reached for. They reached for that player. There were only 2 teams that seemed to be interested in Josh Primo that draft. That was San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City was sitting there in the mid-teens. The Spurs thought, man, he's not going to fall to us later on in the draft. We got to take him early. They took him early, and he showed some flashes, and now he's no longer with the team. He got busted back in October with allegations against him for misconduct. Something that was never criminally charged, but he no longer has a job, and he doesn't have a job right now.
At the same time, though, allegations that, as far as we know of, this is out of kind of nowhere behavior. There's no previous reports of anything like this.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's hard when something comes out. Now, if there were previous reports and things that have been swept under the rug and you missed it in the eval process, I can understand the blame. But we know you do extensive work on draft picks. And Josh Primo, he felt like a Spur coming out. He was quiet. There was no lick of trouble at all tied to him.
Yeah, we're not going to know what
he was a high upside guy.
We're not going to know what was uncovered in the pre-draft process.
And plus, nobody bats 1,000.
No, no one does. And that's why when I'm asked the question, give Brian Wright a letter grade, I have to segment each one. There is, what are you doing with your cap space? What are you doing with player development or the draft itself? And what are you doing with capital?
And I have to look at this the same way I did the Houston Texans. You can take your cap space and throw it away because right now you're not using it. When you're tearing down to bottom out, you are not using your cap space.
Well, they actually are, because here's what they're doing. They extended Keldon Johnson. That was a use of cap space.
It was a use of cap space, but that is a smart use of cap space.
It doesn't mean that you're attracting free agent players like LaMarcus Aldridge back in the day.
Exactly.
Okay. But I would give him an A minus, Brian Wright, A minus to an A in the creation of draft capital. The Spurs have a good chance of having 3 first-round draft picks, maybe even 4 first-round draft picks in either 2024, 2025, just depending on how they convey, because a lot of picks are lottery protected or top 10 protected or top 6 protected. So the Spurs are going to have another year, just like this past year where the Spurs had 3 first-rounders and they got Sohan, Malachi Branham, and Blake Wesley. That's going to happen again in either 2024 or 2025.
Maybe.
Well, no, because some of them are already in line.
No. I mean, maybe in terms of that's a long way away. Those picks could also be used if a player, when the time is right, maybe if you land a Victor Wembanyama this offseason or Scoot Henderson,
right,
to go acquire a disgruntled maybe Donovan Mitchell who becomes available. Like, we don't know who in the future, because these players kind of at the turn of a blink of an eye are like, all of a sudden I want out of wherever I am.
I see what you're going with that.
Because that's a lot of what those picks and future picks can be used for, kind of like what Oklahoma City did in acquiring a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Right. And if the Spurs want to use some of this draft capital to move up, I'd be happy with it, because you can only have a certain number of players out there. But the letter grades I give right now are A minus for the development of draft capital. I'll give a B plus for what they're doing with the salary cap, and I'll give a C minus on who they're drafting, because it probably would have been a B if it wasn't for Joshua Primo. But let's take a look at what the Spurs have when it comes to draft capital. This year, the Spurs have their own first-round draft pick, right? The Spurs also have 2 second-rounders, right, as part of the Jakob Poeltl trade. So they have Toronto's as well. So Spurs have 3 picks in this draft, 1 in the first round, 2 in the second round. Spurs right now with the best odds to land Wemby, 52% chance of being in the top 4, 14% chance of being number 1 overall. Now, 2024, the Spurs have the potential for 3 first-round draft picks.
Not Chicago and Toronto, right?
Charlotte and Toronto. So the Spurs have their own. They have Toronto's, which is just top 6 protected. So chances are that's going to convey, because Toronto's a decent team. They also have Charlotte's, which is top 14 protected. And if it's not conveyed there, it may convey in a future year. So then we have 2025. Check this out. The Spurs have, and then also next year, the Spurs have 4 second-round draft picks. Yeah. In 2025, the Spurs have their own first-round draft pick. They have the Bulls' first-round draft pick, and they have Atlanta Hawks' first-round draft pick. They also have 3 second-rounders, their own, the Raptors, and the Bulls. 2026, the Spurs have their own first-round draft pick and a swap potentially with Atlanta. So the Spurs get the better of the 2. They also have a bevy, 5 second-rounders that year. 2027, the Spurs have 2 first-rounders. They've got the Hawks because of the DeJounte trade and their own. They also have several second-rounders. The Spurs own the second round.
With all these second-rounders, if in the next 5 years, 5-6 years, when they have this bevy of second-rounders, they don't find at least one Nikola Jokic or Draymond Green.
Just somebody.
I'm going to be so mad.
Just somebody. I mean, we have have 2 first-rounders because of the Derek White trade. They have their own, and they have this. Well, actually, they don't own the Celtics. They have the right to swap. So that's a lot of first-round draft picks that the Spurs have there. So they've got 1 swap in 28. Let's count them. That's 1 draft pick, 1 first-rounder in 2028. They've got 2 in 27. That's 3 total. They've got 2 in 26. That's 5 total. They've got 3 in 25. That's 8 total. 3 in 2024. And so that's 12 first-round draft picks between now and 2028.
It hadn't even been a full year. I'm going to ask you, 9 months later? How are you feeling about that DeJounte trade now?
Well, consider DeJounte Murray.
You lambasted them at the time. You crushed Brian Wright at the time.
I crushed Brian Wright at the time because I believed at the time that the Atlanta Hawks were ascending. You had Trae Young, you had John Collins, you had DeJounte Murray, and it had all the makings of a team that was going to be a 50-plus win team that could compete for titles. And it's just one of those things where you look at it and go, okay, well, if you're getting the number 24, 25, 26 pick from this team, it's not a good pick. I would say that right now I'm kind of even keel on it. I'm okay with it. If that Charlotte pick ever conveys into a first rounder, then it was a good trade.
It still is a good trade. You had a player that didn't want to be here, and you maximized the value for it with unprotected picks. So if this whole thing blows up in the next 5 to 6 years,
2 of them unprotected.
They're unprotected. The Charlotte one's the only one that's protected.
Right.
And you've got swaps on top of swaps on top of swaps.
So here is that Charlotte pick that we're talking about here.
That's the only one that's protected.
Yes. Okay. It was top 16 protected in 2023. That's why I didn't convey this year. It is top 14 protected next year. If it's protected again, then it becomes a second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say the Spurs got 3 first rounders for DeJounte Murray, they got 2 with the potential for a third.
Does it matter, though, if this whole thing, and by the looks of it, I don't know if it's DeJounte Murray or the franchise in general or what, but a Molotov cocktail seems to have been thrown into that locker room. And it feels like it is on the verge of just burning the whole thing down.
I like that we're talking Spurs right now. We should continue this talk. Let's talk a little bit more about the Spurs, what they should be looking at right now, because, again, we've been so focused on the NFL draft, which is Thursday night.
And we should be, because we're going to be extremely this focused on the NBA when the draft passes.
The lottery is like in a few weeks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like we have only got this small amount of time to still talk about the NFL.
To catch our breath.
Before it goes dormant until the schedule release next month. And then it's dormant until training camp.
Let's talk Spurs. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar presents the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Take us in. Let's go to the commissioner. The Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
This Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here with the Blitz, broadcasting live at Slackers, Thousand Oaks, followed by the draft at 6 on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
I was in a terrible car accident. I suffered a traumatic brain injury and also injured my spine. My daughter-in-law called Jeff Davis. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $86,559. I want everyone in San Antonio to know Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play Jimenez and Spence on San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, we were singing this yesterday. Team Pledger beat Joe's Jocks. The San Antonio Sports Star Bragging Rights Tournament. It was fun out there over at the Golf Club of Texas. Mike Jimenez here with you till 3 o'clock. Tim Spence has the day off. James Pledger producing today's show. He's also co-hosting today.
There's some Panic being played that day, too.
There was. I love me some Panic at the Disco. They broke up about a month ago, which was weird because there's only one member of Panic at the Disco.
Brandon Urie has gotten a fight with himself?
Exactly. He looks in the mirror and says, no more. He plays every instrument. How do you break up a band when you're the only member of that band? Now, when he goes on tour, he has a, musicians that go out there.
He's got a touring band.
Yeah, he has a touring band. But when they said Panic at the Disco broke up, it was the stupidest sounding thing ever. By the way, young people are starting to turn against Brandon Urie too. My daughter keeps telling me this, that for some reason Brandon Urie kind of icks them for some reason. I think it was because he sang that song with Taylor Swift. That song, Me.
Oh, yeah.
It was a decent song.
Yeah, it was good.
I liked the video. Welcome back. We're talking some Spurs. Kielbasa Spoke Meets phone line, 656 ESPN, 656-3776. I personally believe that the Spurs might be better off if Pledger and I were the GM.
Careful what you wish for.
Hey, a few years ago, we liked Devin Vassell, right? That was our favorite player in the draft. Who did they get?
Hey, they did too.
They got Devin Vassell. Made sense. So we were on the same wavelength, right? I liked Alperen Şengün, right? They liked Primo. Who got that one right? I think I did.
The Rockets.
I think I did. Last year, they got Jeremy Sohan. I was a Jalen Duren guy.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked a couple of other players. They may have gotten me on that one. I
liked a handful of players, but I was not mad with, Jack and I were both very high on Jeremy Sohan coming out of Baylor.
It was the right pick at the right place. He was not going to be a top 5 pick, but to get him at 9 wasn't that bad of a deal. It's a good value pick to roll the dice on him on that.
The arrow's still ascending up on him.
Yeah. Okay.
That's part of the reason why I didn't think they took him going, you know what? We could really use on this roster a 25% three-point shooter.
No,
I think
no.
that's the ceiling for him, and that's why we should get him. They didn't look at him like that. Of course they expect him to be better.
Okay. The belief, though, that people are going to get better at shooting just simply because they're in the NBA longer is not accurate.
No.
For some people do get better. Some people do gradually get better over time. I'm a big believer that shooters know how to shoot, and that's what they do.
I also am a big believer of he was late to the game, played overseas, and takes extremely well to coaching. Those are traits that he's a hard worker.
Chip Anglin ain't walking through that door, dude. Chip Anglin, there's a very good possibility. Now, I like a lot of what he does. Dude,
he still got better.
I like it when he takes to the hole. I like it when he dribbles the ball up the court. Dude, he is deadly. He's like me with a putter from 10 feet. Okay? The distance that I like to make putts, he's deadly from that range shooting. Okay?
Yeah, and you're shooting about the same range as Jeremy Sohan.
No, that would be me off the tee box.
No,
because I got 4 out of 18 in. I got 4 out of 18 in the fairway, and that is the same percentage that.
No, you didn't.
Okay, first of all, if I shoot into the fairway that's in the 6th hole,
it's
still a fairway.
It is not.
It is still a fairway.
That is not how golf works.
Let's talk about who the Spurs have on the roster next year, because the Spurs, you know what? Usually at this time they come in with like 4 or 5 players, and then they try to figure it out. At least that's what they've been doing the last 4 seasons. Now that we've had 4 years in a row of not making the playoffs. Doug McDermott is back. It is his final year. You know what that means? Trade bait.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jot that down. Mick Buckets is trade bait. Devontae Graham coming in on he has 2 seasons left on this team. 28 years old right now, but only one of the years is guaranteed. So that being said, obviously he'll be on the team. Zach Collins has a non-guaranteed contract, but I will assume that it'll be fully guaranteed because it seems as though Pop loves Zach Collins, and I kind of too. That is a big debate within Spurs Twitter right now. What about Zach Collins? I would say that half love him and half hate him. I'm on team love for Zach Collins. When that guy is healthy, he plays very well. Kem Birch is on the roster right now for $7 million. Sohan for $5 million. Devin Vassell, it's a team option for $6 million. Keldon Johnson, his extension kicks in at $20 million this next season. Malachi Branham still in a rookie deal, $3 million. There will be team options for the following 2 years. Charles Bassey on this team at 2.6. Blake Wesley on a rookie deal at 2.5. Certain players that no longer are under contract. Trey Jones is not under contract anymore. Keita Bates-Diop is not under contract. Gorgie Jang is no longer under contract, and Romeo Langford is also no longer under contract. So look at it right now. The Spurs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spurs have 10 players right now. Have 10 players. Then you add the first-round draft pick. That'll be 11 players on this roster already. Spurs are going to have what? To fill about 6 or 7 more spots at that point. Spurs have a lot of cap space. Doesn't mean they're going to do anything with it. Object number 1 this year. Okay, if I'm GM, it is pick the right player in the first round. We know that it's going to be
the right player.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about that. Number 1.
It's really easy to say, just pick the right player.
Number 1, here's my power rankings. Number 1 is Wemby, right? We have the number 1 overall pick. We're going Wemby. We have the number 2 overall pick. We're going Scoot.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Brandon Miller.
You truly believe?
These are my power rankings.
No, I'm aware of the power rankings, but there's such a thing as this player is really good, but does the possible baggage, because we just talked about how bad it was missing on Josh Primo because he is not on your team because of things that happened off the basketball court.
Right. The difference is that Miller's not accused of anything.
Primo is not charged with anything.
Yes, but Primo has enough evidence against him to suggest that there was smoke and fire both present.
Like we were talking about with Primo, the problem is you didn't know, and if you did know, that makes that pick even worse if you found something in the background.
And we'll never know.
There's at least something for you to at least put a red check next to that to be like, that is something we have to consider.
There is a sealed vault there at the AT&T Center.
With the secrets?
We will never know. We will never know. Okay, so power rankings. Wemby, Scoot, Brandon Miller. Okay, so that means if we have the number 3 pick and Scoot's off the board, Wemby, Victor's off the board, I'm GM. I'm taking Brandon Miller at 3. Number 4, that's interesting because you could go in so many different directions when it comes to this.
You're going with one of the Thompson twins. Just say
I just don't know which one.
Do you want Asar or Amen? You could just put them at 4 or 5.
I kind of like Asar.
Okay, go Asar, Amen then. Because I know you like them both.
I do like them both, but what I like about Asar is that his shooting's getting better. And you can't, and Amen, as
just
great
like Jeremy
as he is,
Sohans.
As great as he is, no, it didn't.
It did.
It did not.
It was awful.
It did not. He had a 2-week stretch in January.
It went from awful to bad.
No.
That is better.
It went from piss poor to craptacular. No, he had a 2-week period at the end of January where he shot like 50% from 3 for like a 2-week period, and he was like 18% after and 18% before it.
Okay, Asar can shoot, Amen can't.
Asar, oh my goodness, but Amen has just the idea of Amen's physicality on the same court with Sohan, because that's where they match each other. So I'm going to take that back. I'm going to go Amen 4. I'm going to go Asar.
He can shoot.
No, that's Malachi Brown and my son will have to be on the court at all times at that point. Number 5, I guess I'll go with Asar on that one. Number 6, don't laugh, but Grady Dick. We talk about high ceilings. We talk about high floors. Grady Dick's floor is really high.
Is it?
Yeah. The guy's a gamer.
What is, if you were going to comp him in the league?
Wow.
He's Doug McDermott coming out of college.
Oh,
That's
come
who
on.
He is. You have him on this
We
team
have
already.
him on this team.
It's the same guy.
I don't want to comp him with another white guy because you're gonna come at me and go, "Well, I know,
comped him to a white guy."
Because wouldn't it be?
He's
Josh. Wouldn't it be Giddyish but with hops?
No, he's not Giddyish. He doesn't have the same kind of intangibles, floor vision, ability to rebound. Like Josh Giddey has these intangibles of just knowing what to do on the basketball court,
Right.
whether it's the pass, whether it's where the ball's coming off the rim and a rebound. Like he has these things. He just sees the game differently. And you saw that in his tape.
The player that I think though that would open up, which is it seems counterintuitive because they both are awful 3-point shooters, that I think is the best complement for Sohan is Amen Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are spinning tops that will spin and bounce off of each other all day long, but in a good way. I
What was
honestly,
that game?
oh my goodness! Breaking news coming to San Antonio Sports Star. That's sad. De'Aaron Fox has fractured. Sacramento Kings star De'Aaron Fox fractured the tip of his left index finger in Game 4, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
So now how are you feeling about the Kings?
Yeah, so I think the Steph's gonna get another ring. Okay, real fast before we go to break. Okay, let's go back to Sohan real fast. Sohan and Amen Thompson together would be spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if Sohan played with Wemby, Wemby would outshine him and does a lot of the same things that Sohan does.
Wemby's going to outshine anyone on this team.
And then Scoot is very ball heavy. He likes it sticks to him a little bit. Osar is basically a more athletic Devin Vassell type of guy.
Without the shot.
An improving shot, but without the 40% accuracy. But Amen Thompson, though.
What does that even mean?
I'm saying
With an improving shot, just not the 40% accuracy.
I'm trying to compare him to Devin Vassell.
I know what you're trying to do.
Right. Shoot or shoot. But
everyone shoots, just
some better than others.
Make it.
But man, I do have visions of Amen or Amen, depends on how you phrase it, you pronounce it, playing with Sohan. That would actually get me excited.
You know, the only thing I'm going to be excited for until it's not proven a reality.
What's that?
Wemby. This has all been about Wemby. I can get excited about Scoot, but until the lottery comes, those are the only two I'm thinking about. I'm manifesting it.
I want to let people know that because I talk about the fact that the Spurs may not actually win the lottery.
They may not, but I'll talk about that when it happens.
The lottery, Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. So let's count the dates. That's what, 3 weeks away? 3 weeks away from knowing whether or not the Spurs get Wemby or we get Scoot or we're somehow dropping to number 6 and getting my guy, Grady Dick. Let's talk about the Cowboys on the other side because the NFL draft is just over 3 days away.
Good old Doug McDermott 2.0.
That's just sad. Jimenez Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
As you just heard, breaking news into San Antonio Sports Star. De'Aaron Fox fractured the tip of his left index finger in Game 4. Questionable where he stands the rest of this series. It continues Wednesday at 9 with the series tied at 2. Other games, the Grizzlies are in LA to take on the Lakers at 9 o'clock tonight, and that preceded by Heat and Bucks as Giannis makes his return.
Oh my goodness, Nigel. You're wearing a towel, shower cap, and flip-flops, and you're holding a toilet brush?
I'm all in this year, Joel, representing Quartermoon Plumbing and AC during the Battle of Showers.
It's called Battle of Flowers. Folks, at Quartermoon Plumbing and AC, we love Fiesta and we love our city. And when your home's pipes crack like Cascaronis or your AC sounds like an attitude mariachi, we'll fix the problems fast and at a fair price. Call Quartermoon 651-5899. Nigel, you deserve a Fiesta pin. Hold still.
Ow! I should have worn a shirt.
Have pain? Have chronic pain?
Low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain, I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications, we do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, did you know nacho fries are back at Taco Bell? But they're not going to hang around forever, so don't wait. Or you might miss out on these hot, crisp fries covered in all those bold Mexican spices with delicious nacho cheese sauce. Or wait and just settle for flavorless fries. Regular, bland, spiceless, flavorless, flimsy, non-nacho fries. Just an absolute bummer of a fry.
Nacho fries are back. Get them today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation which vary.
It's showtime! It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're also streaming live right now on YouTube. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. Jason and Joe get going at 3 o'clock for the Blitz. They have tickets to give away to Taste of the North Side, which is one of the biggest attractions for Fiesta 2023. This is it. I've got tickets to Flambeau for Friday night. Going to go check that out, but that is the extent of the Fiesta that I'm doing this year. It's just something about the traffic, man. Something about all the people there just doesn't do it for me. I'm getting
Saturday?
old. Oh, it's Saturday. That's right. Battle of Flowers is Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever my wife says to go and get in the car and get dressed.
Well, hopefully it's not Friday.
Dude, when I was growing up, I was in the Battle of Flowers parade. I was in marching band at Holmes High School for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. And there was one time that we did the Battle of Flowers and we're marching up and down the streets and it was like 97, 98 degrees. And we're wearing these polyester uniforms and it was so stinking hot. 97, 98 air temperature, but the streets were so much hotter. You're wearing polyester suits. Pledge, as we were walking, I'd say every quarter of a mile, I'd see one member of my marching band fall to the ground and we'd walk over them and just keep going. I bet you about 7 or 8 passed out.
Would you say that was the hardest thing?
That's very, very funny. That is very, very funny. I just want you to know that I do cherish you. And by the way,
because of you.
Because okay, so people driving around right now going, "What the hell just happened right there? What the hell just happened?" But there's about 3% of people driving around right now who thought that was the funniest thing ever. Because you had to be in the know of the tier 3 boy band from the late 90s, 98 degrees. I said it was 98 degrees, and you went for it, knowing that I would catch that and throw it back. My goodness. But again, fiesta going on right now. It's going to be a little bit rainy this week, so check your forecast before going out. But again, Tim Spence has taken the day off. You want to be part of the conversation, Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line 656 ESPN 656-3776. The NFL draft in 3 days. Thursday night, the Blitz will be out at 281 Thousand Oaks, the Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar location out there. Come watch the draft with us. It's going to be a great night. We're going to hear that 31 times in the first round. And right now, the Cowboys are at number 26. Jerry Jones held a press conference, Cowboys owner and GM, held a press conference where he said, we're either going to stay at 26, we might move up, or we might slide back down. Jerry Jones, that prediction will come true. That's 100% certainty. Jerry Jones saying, we're moving up, we're moving back, or we're staying at 26. I like the fact that Jerry Jones covers all bases. But when it comes to like what the Cowboys are going to do, where they're going to draft, there's been all this speculation for the better part of 3 months, all of these mock drafts, but it's finally going to come to head Thursday night in Kansas City. What are the Cowboys going to do? Right now, Vegas, according to BetOnline AG, says that the Cowboys more than likely 2-1 odds will take a tight end. Also in that 2.5 to 1 odds area, saying that a defensive lineman would also make sense, followed by offensive line and then running back. Running back going off at 5.5 to 1 odds. Reason why we bring this up is because we're trying to figure out, wrap our heads around what the Cowboys are trying to accomplish. Are they trying to just get the best player available, or are they trying to fill a specific need? And are the Cowboys right now looking at the other teams in the NFC East and wanting to know, do we pick to offset what they're doing? Because there's a lot of speculation right now that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to make a run at a big name running back. That could be Bijan Robinson at number 10, because the Eagles have 2 first-round draft picks, number 10 and number 30. It could be going after Derrick Henry. There were stories, reports, rumors this weekend that the Eagles and Titans might be close to a deal for Derrick Henry, the star running back, to go over to the Eagles. And I was saying at that point, if you're sitting there at 26 and Bijan's off the board, Todd Archer of ESPN saying Bijan's there at 26, Cowboys are taking him at 26. But if he's off the board and you hear that the Eagles go after a Derrick Henry or the Eagles get Bijan Robinson at number 10, doesn't that mean that you need to go defense if you're the Cowboys? Or to just simply go, we'll just do our thing, let them do their thing, we'll do our thing? No. I think at that point, this obstacle in getting you to the Super Bowl is the Philadelphia Eagles, because you need to win the NFC East. You don't win the NFC East, you don't get home games in the playoffs. That is your biggest rival right now. That Eagles team that made the Super Bowl this year. You need to combat them. If they go running back first round, or they get Derrick Henry first round, they trade number 30 for the Titans Pro Bowler, I think you have to go defensive tackle at that point. Somewhere on the defensive line, you have to shore that up at that point. Because the Cowboys have shown you can win 12 games and not make a run into the Super Bowl. You can get 12 games, get knocked out. This past season, 12 wins, knocked out second round. This is a very wide open NFC for the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be an amazing Thursday night. Again, you can hear all the drama. 94-1 San Antonio Sports Star 2023 first round of the NFL draft, because number one, everybody knows that Bryce Young of Alabama, quarterback, is going to go number 1 to the Carolina Panthers. But the big debate is at number 2. What do the Houston Texans do? Do they go quarterback? Do they go C.J. Stroud, Ohio State? Do they go Will Levis, Kentucky? Do they go Anthony Richardson, Florida? You can convince me that it's Anthony Richardson out of Florida. I would not be mad. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be mad, because Pledge and I have talked about the fact.
I'd actually be really happy about that.
Yeah, because the ceiling is so high. The potential is so high. But then that's one domino that falls. And then suddenly, what happens at number 4? What happens at number 5? Do the Seahawks perk their heads up and go, We didn't realize this quarterback would be around. Maybe we do go quarterback at that point, and then maybe Jalen Carter starts falling. And then what happens with Bijan at number 8? What does Atlanta do? Does Atlanta want to say that we're taking Bijan, that they're taking Bijan because they want someone to trade up to them because they have lots of needs? And then you have number 10. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles just sitting there going, we can go in many, many, many directions. If they went for Bijan, that would be epic to do so. What a middle finger to Cowboy fans if they did that. Detroit Lions at number 18. They've got the 6 and the 18. Would they go after a Bijan at 18? What about the Houston Texans at 12? In Jigba, the wide receiver. I mean, that might be a great play for the Texans at 12.
I love pairing Stroud and Njigba together.
I mean, it's a combo, right? I mean, it's people who know each other, right?
Worked with Burrow and Chase.
Jamar Chase, right? Where do they go to school again?
Somewhere in a boot-shaped state.
Oh, yes. They Chase and Burrow went to LSU, which is where my daughter goes to school. And in 2 weeks, I'll be moving her out of school.
Oh.
Booked my flight last night.
Done?
No, she has 9 hours left.
She's done.
Yeah, she quit the school newspaper after this semester, so she can continue working for the newspaper in Baton Rouge and in New Orleans. 9 hours left. She's got an internship in Virginia, so I have to go move her. I have to go fly over there to U-Haul her into a storage facility, and then I got to drive on back to San Antonio. Kilbasa Smoke Meat's phone line 656-ESPN 656-3776. Ronald reaches out on our YouTube. We are streaming live right now saying, my man Spence has it made. Works like 6 days a month.
Absolutely not true, by the way.
Yeah. When Spence is not here doing the show, that doesn't mean he's not working. He's doing other stuff here at the station.
The more important things.
Yes. He's dealing with managerial, corporate type stuff. Things that rake in the paychecks for both me and Pledger. But
the very small ones.
Let's go to break. Let's talk about the draft a little bit more on the other side. Get you prepped out for the Blitz. Again, they're going to have tickets to Taste of the North Side in the 5 o'clock hour. This is Jimenez and Spence at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, we're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft, and it's all here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The NBA playoffs continue. Can Golden State take one on the road? The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie!
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity!
We're going to the city?
Authenticity!
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic! Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Soft water equals soft skin. Hard water, hard skin. And hard, dry, cracked skin is torture. If your skin feels like this, that's hard water. A water softener isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And it feels so good. A Kinetico water softener will give you that ultra soft skin. Your hair will be silky smooth, fixtures will sparkle, cleaner laundry, and 24 hours pure soft water. So many homeowners all over San Antonio and the Hill Country enjoy the benefits of Kinetico soft water, and you can too. A Kinetico is 80% more efficient than other models, uses no electricity, and has fewer moving parts than other brands, and no computer to worry about. Call Chris Knippa with Kinetico Quality Water Softeners, Kinetico. Make your skin go from to 656 Pure, 656 Pure, or online at KineticoSA.com.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656 Pure. Kinetico.
All eyes will be on the NFL Draft this Thursday, and San Antonio Sports Star is on top of all the coverage. Join the Blitz live this Thursday at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar to follow all the NFL Draft action. We're starting at 3 o'clock with happy hour specials, your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets, and all the draft trash talk you can handle. That's this Thursday for night one of the NFL Draft, live at Slacker's Thousand Oaks location, and your chance to win Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets.
Texas Cheer Liquor is now up to 9 different locations. Why would you shop with the big guys when you can shop local? Check them all out at TexasCheerLiquor.com. And don't forget, they got those kegs for delivery for the big fight. That's TexasCheerLiquor.com.
Hey, it's Jason Jimenez, and this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's been Mike Jimenez and James Pledger today. Tim Spence has the day off. But to end the show, my good buddy Joe Reinangle that I've known for 20-plus years, 25 years in fact.
Long time, yeah.
So we were on the golf course. It was so much fun this weekend. It really was.
It was fun. It was fun. You guys, I think, had more of a stacked team than I did.
I will say this. Okay, Pledger is the best player on our team. That goes without saying, right?
Yes, it does.
But Minix, the hungover king over here, brought his A game.
Nobody was hungover.
Because you're a veteran at this.
Not hungover. Not hungover.
It's a better story if you're hungover, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't get hungover.
You brought your A game.
Well, see, that tells you all you need to know about Minix. He doesn't get hungover. He's a pro.
I played well. What we did learn is Mike Jimenez is by far the worst golfer at the radio station, but the dude could putt. He did contribute a lot of putts. It just takes him forever to actually line up and putt.
Are we sure he's worse than Rob?
I'm not sure if he's worse than Rob.
But
I've seen
Rob had a hard day.
Rob was on the party bus with us.
Rob had a rough day.
He might have been struggling, but I've seen Rob golf at other times, and I've seen Jimenez golf now twice. He is the consistently worst golfer at the radio station. He could putt, but that's about it.
Hey, man, I'm not for putting out there. That's that's part of the battle, right? I mean, part of being good at golf is, and I knew that because notice how I wasn't at the driving range before the tournament. I was pitching and putting, and it came to play because I probably sank about 3 putts or so from about 10 feet out.
More than that. 10 feet out?
Yes.
10 feet in.
10 feet in. That's what 10 feet out means.
Okay.
10 feet or less.
Yeah. No, I was probably making somewhere between 6 and 12 footers. Probably made about 3 or 4 of those.
Well, were those all for pars or what? Because you guys didn't make any birdies.
It's saved par. It was like, please, Jimenez, knock this one down. It was one of those.
Gotcha.
Nobody actually said that.
Yes. I mean, that's what I heard.
Dude, I saw your video. It takes you about a minute and a half to putt.
Okay, first of all,
it's just like Jimenez leaving the studio at the end of the show.
Exactly.
First of all, what a jerk Minix is for putting a timer on there like I'm Cantlay over there.
You are?
Okay, first of all, it took me 30 seconds to line up a putt and hit the ball. Is that too long?
Yes.
What should it be?
Well, that's a long time because I saw what you were doing, dude, and you look goofy. There is some etiquette to how you should look. You sitting there lining up your putter like this, and it was goofy looking.
I didn't go out there with the putter that goes to the belly, the belly putter.
Yeah,
I wasn't doing that.
I don't have one of those either.
I'll bring out that one next time. By the way, before I go, you guys are coming in.
Yeah.
They have Taste of Northside tickets, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
The music. How much of a drag was it? Because Spence, I knighted him as one of our guys. He's one of my guys now.
Right.
But the music, having to listen to John Mellencamp, having to listen to Tears for Fears. Kansas.
Well, that was some of it, but then we went to a little more classic rock. And then we start the back nine. I put a little Morgan Wallen, a little country music, but then we all started playing pretty badly after that. So
go figure.
So I had to change it back. And but dude, it was fun. Like I said, Rob had a rough day. Jimmy, I met Jimmy for the first time, and I was really impressed with Spence. He's not too bad.
Jimmy on the first tee box with a heater sticking out of his mouth, trying to smoke a cigarette and tee off. We're like, oh my God, this guy must be really
hole we
good.
saw Jimmy cigarettes. It was
Dude,
good.
let me tell you something. I have not seen a golf club like this in about 30 years. Jimmy has an old persimmon wood, 3-wood. Yeah, you don't know what that is. I mean, everything's metal now, but back in the 70s.
No, it's an actual wood.
It was wood, and the persimmon, that was top of the line back then. But I mean, I had not seen one of those kind of clubs in years.
Take him to play tennis. He'll have the wooden rackets like
Maybe,
Bjorn Borg.
maybe not, but it was a fun day. We need to do that more often.
Very cool.
I got to get Pledge out, man, because I think I can take him.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
And Rob Thompson, I'm coming for you, baby. Coming for you.
Yeah, you and Rob need a grudge match. That'd be good.
I'm willing to do a beer bet with
9-hole tournament.
Jason or Joe up
Exactly.
next. Again, they have tickets to Taste of the North Side. Pleasure. Thanks for filling in. Spence, hope everything's okay. See you guys tomorrow. See ya.
It's Jimenez and Spence. Follow Mike Jimenez at Mike ESPN SA, Tim Spence at Spence ESPN SA, and always at ESPNSA.com.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
KTFM Floresville. KTFM Floresville.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.